What up, Zach?
man?
I can barely hear you.
All right.
Hear me?
Zach, you there, man?
Yeah, I thought Greatone said he couldn't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you better now. I couldn't hear you earlier. I barely could hear you.
Well, let me turn my mic up then.
All right, yeah. All you, man. McGee, we want to give him the countdown, man?
You can just go ahead whenever. We're good. It's too late now.
Cool, man.
And if I may need to dip out if I get a call or something like that, but I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, man. Okay, on your go, Zach. There you go.
Did Zach die?
Also, Party Wolf, it's so nice to talk to you again.
Hey, man. Love you, man.
You know, you've ignored me for so many months now.
I guess I'll do it since Zach died.
Zach, he was like, did Zach die?
I don't know. Hey,
Yeah,
welcome
maybe
to
he's just away.
Spectator Cast. We're back from the dead again. We're going to talk about Soul Calibur 6 because it happened, or it's happening. We've got Greatone with us, and Partisan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
I get it.
Partisan Jr. Or Partisan 2.0, depending how you look at it.
Partisan 2.0.
All right.
There you go.
Awesome. All right, but yeah, JJJ couldn't join with us tonight for I think he's probably at work or something, anything else like that. But Soul Calibur 6 is announced. We're all happy. We're all excited, and we've already gotten, I think, 3 things so far. Like, we have the trailer, the like mini kind of gameplay thing, and then like the full gameplay video. Pretty much is what we've had so far. In terms of like the actual visual. So, all right. So based off, at least I want to go over probably from our, like, I guess what everyone has seen. What is everyone's thoughts? I guess on the reversal edge, or I guess the reversal edge. Like, do we think this will be a good adaptation for, like, I guess? Well, we know Just Guard, I guess, is kill at this point. But you guys think this is I guess a better substitute for Just Guard? Well, almost like, yeah. So, like, by all means, I guess, Party, if we want to start, man.
So the question is, do I like this more than Just Guard?
Yeah, like, or do you think like you'll think it'll fit nicely? Like, how do you think this is gonna work in this new Soul Calibur?
Well, I think the issue with Just Guard is that it eliminates certain aspects of Soul Calibur in a negative way. I don't feel like this new mechanic does that at all. In fact, I think this mechanic does not work whenever you have good Soul Calibur gameplay. And the reason why I say that is because, for a few reasons. So first of all, in the trailer, there's instances where you would reverse edge something, and at one point he reverse edges Sophidia's BB, and the only reason the Sophidia gets hit is because she's still mashing. You totally have time to block if you do a move that recovers well. So, as long as you're doing moves that aren't really sluggish, you'll be fine. The other reason why I don't think this mechanic will be very strong in the long run is because it forces you into a guessing game. So if you hit someone with the reverse edge, say you got your read, right? Got your damage, well, now you have an opportunity to get more damage,
You're just a
or
spectator.
you have an opportunity to accidentally kill yourself. It's not a very controlled way of hitting someone. So if you don't have a life lead, like a good life lead, not like if you're near death, you lose all control of what's going to happen in the match based on a 3-way guess. So I don't think it'll be good for that reason.
Okay.
I think it'll be good for people who aren't aware of Soul Calibur and know how to defend well. Similar to Tekken 7's Power Crush.
Yeah, that's actually a really good observation to make, is basically how much it relates kind of to that. Partisan, any thoughts, man?
I pretty much agree with everything Party Wolf said. A few things I want to add, though. One thing that I like about this mechanic is the impression I get is that it's very simple to use. Like, it's probably going to be like a like an all button press kind of thing, or just there's a bind for it on the controller or something like that. And so it's going to be very easy to execute. And comparing it to Just Guard, which was something that was a little more harder, I'd say, for newcomers especially to use, I think in that aspect it's already looking much better. How it's going to play out in like high level, I kind of have I need to see more of it really to get a better feel of what it's going to do. But I think that right now it looks like it'll have its uses, but I don't think it's going to be like something you're going to see like every 5 seconds. I just don't think it's that worthwhile to do because, again, like Party Wolf said, like the recovery on certain moves will be able to like bait it out super easily. And another thing, like I can't remember if you mentioned it, but it uses guard gauge every time you use it, as far as I know. Yeah. So if you're just spamming it, then you're wasting that, and that's another resource gone. So if you're just going to be relying on this mechanic that doesn't even guarantee you anything, it doesn't seem like a very viable way to win a game. It's just tossing things up in the air to RNG at that point. Well, I guess versus another person, it's more like rock, paper, scissors. So
yeah, it looked kind of like that in a way, basically.
And another thing about it too is that I think a few people mentioned this as well, is that the options after the reversal edge, if they're going to be like universal, or each character is going to have a different option, which I think would be kind of interesting because, like, say you have a character like, I don't know, like Nightmare or something like that, and every time he gets like the horizontal option, right, like that's the strongest one, that's the one they want to gun for. Maybe that adds a kind of like dynamic mind game to it where it's like, okay, so I don't want to get hit by this horizontal. Are they going to try and go for it anyways? Or am I going to try and do the option that beats it, which I guess is the vertical? I think that's how the hierarchy works. Like vertical beats horizontal beats the step, and the step obviously beats the vertical.
Yeah.
So I want to see more of it to really see if it is going to be kind of a more universal thing, or there's going to be unique properties. But again, that's just a matter of time before we see that. But overall, I think it's a really cool mechanic. It looks fantastic just to see it. It's kind of like not something that's really applicable at a high level of gameplay, but I'm definitely interested to see more of it, and I think it's a great addition so far.
Yeah, because from what I like at least seen, like, because every time they I guess they engage in that situation, like you said, basically then I guess it might be universal based on the horizontal, a vertical, or sidestepping. Well, sidestepping will always be universal, but for horizontals and verticals, I'm curious if if they actually like you said, they might put a property where like I guess you could maybe go low or something else like that for So that's what I'm thinking, like, because I also thought the way it's like I'm assuming like every vertical and horizontal will clash regardless of like, let's say like a tech crouch or some other possible property to the move. So yeah, like I said, it's still a little in the air because once again this is only the first that we've seen of it. So hopefully they'll continuously give us more and maybe I guess expand a bit on the broad definition that they had given for reverse edge. Because I'll read it loud for everyone, but the official statement they released was, in Soul Calibur 6, Reverse Edge is a new battle system that integrates both offensive and defensive. Once the Reversal Edge is activated, you can continuously defend against an opponent's techniques to clash against each other and follow up with a powerful counterattack based on the opponent's actions. When Reverse Edge hits, you can enjoy a powerful production-like scene from an action movie highlighted by a dynamic camera. And as you saw, it did do all that, but for what we discussed so far, like it's not giving the nitty gritty of I guess what we want in a way, at least from a competitive aspect, of course. Yeah, but great one. You got anything on Reverse Edge, man?
There's so much that is kind of jumbled in my head right now. I want to point out first, like I was talking to Hates earlier about it, and they were talking about the actual use. Hold on.
Okay.
But yeah, it definitely looks very visually appealing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can you hear me? Okay,
you're good.
Yeah, like I said, going by what they were talking about, the how on higher level, how it's going to be used. One of the things Hate said that really stuck with me. He said the difference between what it seems like to him is the difference between the great players and the good players are actually working to avoid that mechanic overall. You know, like so people can't force it on you. You know, doing what you can to avoid, like how they use Clash and Injustice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to save their ass kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it looks like one of those things where it's like, if you're a better player, you're gonna, you know, be working around. You're gonna try to bait that out and have people try to use it as a save their ass type of mechanic, and you know, take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's reminiscent of a Soul Blade mechanic, where I guess the term people are using is a rock paper scissors mechanic, where B beat out A beat out K beat out B, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
like a triangle thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think what their intention is to, you know, it's like the Daigo effect, the dynamic defense, I guess you can say. The you know, we all saw the parry, the Evo moment, pop, and then you turn the tables on them and attack. I think, you know, that's kind of what the effect that they're trying to put into this game. But we're gonna have to wait and see exactly how strong it really is, because I saw a lot. Mind you, I just got to see this video right before this call happened, so I still need to go more into it. But I saw a lot of different where it looked like you know, Mitsu would use it, and he had like a different one for different attack, horizontal or vertical, that kind of shit. And Sophie was able to either she guessed wrong or she got hit, and it seemed like she guessed right. And I don't know. It's I still got to look into it a lot more. But I agree with Party Wolf in that I don't think it's going to be, even if it is kind of a stronger mechanic. You know, if it's stronger than we think it is. It's like what, you know, like I was saying, what Hayes said. You take your destiny into your own hands. You know, you want you want to work to force people to use that and take advantage of them for using it at the wrong time. So
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be that big a deal.
Actually, that actually was something I did want to bring up. From when the reverse edge did in fact go in one either or's favor, what did you guys think of the damage output? Do you think that's reasonable for the amount of for going for that situation? Do you think it's too less? Do you think maybe he's a little more? Or do you think it's kind of accurate for where I guess they've shown how much damage it deals?
One thing I forgot to mention is that the actual reversal edge before the mix-up does damage, so if you can knock out with that before that guessing game, then that move will be really cheap.
That's a good point, actually. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But as far as like the guessing game damage, it seems fine.
Okay.
Nothing seemed too outrageous about it. Like, I forget how some of it worked. I'll probably just go and rewatch it a bit later because I don't want to just try and remember right now. But yeah, the damage with it seemed pretty fine. Like, it didn't seem really anything crazy. It doesn't seem like you can really get follow-up damage. Maybe that is the case. I'm really not sure.
I don't think they have a lot of good follow-up damage just from what I've seen. I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you notice that a lot of knockdown moves, they move way across the stage.
Yeah, which is, we'll probably get into that a bit later, I'd imagine. But yeah, no, I noticed that too. A lot of the pushbacks and stuff seem like vastly different from at least what we're used to in 5 and probably the other games, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, on the reverse edge system, when you were talking about that, yeah, because like I remember watching the one. I believe Mitsu rung Sophia out with his. I think on the one case where like he got like the 3-string follow up and he rung her out. I think.
Yeah.
That. So that was the one thing I was also curious about. Because that probably I think also has a little bit to do with the pushback. Because they were, when that clash happened, I may have to look back on it again. They were decently far away from the ring, but it seemed that 3-move string he did really pushed her pretty far and then rung her out. So
that looks like his old Soul Calibur 3, one of his Soul Calibur 3 unblockables.
Mm.
The one that did that. That one, no, that one didn't rung out. It gave a crumple knockdown. But I mean, a lot of it looks like. First off, as far as the damage goes, it's kind of you kind of got to be careful with that. I mean, you want it to have enough damage where it's actually a viable mechanic to use. Because I mean, if I'm getting 40 damage off of such a large gamble, what the hell am I use it for? You know what I'm saying? But from what I saw, I mean, it looked just about right because you don't want people just throwing that shit out all the goddamn time.
Exactly.
Because like it would just like the meta would just be who can do that more and successfully, right?
Yeah,
Right.
who's better at guessing correctly?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was one of those things where it didn't lead to all that much damage, but it gave you pretty good advantage to, stack up your damage if you guess right, as far as mix-ups and things like that, I think that I prefer that, to be honest. I honestly don't like the pushback, but that's because I'm thinking in terms of like Soul Calibur 4 and Partisan can attest to this with Ivy's pushback, because then you're just constantly running forward. You're constantly running forward, and it leaves you open to getting hit. You're basically having to move. Is there any kind of guard meter in this?
Yes.
Yes.
Did we see what happens when the guard meter breaks?
We didn't. The interesting thing about guard meter, though, is that a lot of the mechanics, like the reverse edge, the reversal edge, and guard impact, are both tied to it. In that it seems that when you whiff them or just use the reversal edge in general, I think it drains the guard meter slightly or a lot. I'm really not sure, but it definitely affects that.
And guard
which
impact?
I think is really cool. Yes.
That sucks.
Yeah, that one was interesting. I was gonna bring that up with Bisky. I was thinking like, how much did the reversal edge and how much did the GI drain away from his guard meter was what I was interested in. Because I know like in the footage it shows Mitsu like whiffing like about 3 GIs, and then I think he'd only I may have to go and relook at the round, but I think maybe he did do 1 reversal edge before he did that. So I was curious to see like, I wonder how many times can I use this this tool before I put myself in a situation where I can get guard broken. So, yeah, I guess like he whiffed like kind of 3 GIs and then he started blinking yellow, and then I think he did maybe 1 or 2 more times, and then he was at red, and then I think he died though before he could ever get his guard broken. But it seems that I guess you have a reasonable amount of GIs in your arsenal. And of course, your guard gauge will of course gain back with time and everything else like that if you try and run away in space and whatnot. So it'll be interesting, but I guess if anything, I would hope that they don't drain too heavily, because then that will kind of just basically discourage the fact of even attempting to really guard impact if you're kind of wasting away a chance to where they could get probably some major damage for breaking your guard.
One thing that would be interesting is One thing that would be interesting is if you're able to burst yourself, because if you could potentially start combos and then end your combos with a self guard burst, so you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it would definitely be something new and interesting to think about. Because definitely like sacrificing damage to do something like that, I think is pretty cool.
I don't like guard gauge at all. I didn't like it in 4. I don't like it in 5, and I hate that it's in this game. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. I understand the concept behind it, but no matter what anybody says, when they talk about the older games being Turtle Fest, go back and watch that shit. Tell me any of that shit was. To me, the most turtle game was 4.
Yeah, how big was the how much abuse could you take before your guard got broken? I know Vault notorious for basically breaking guards.
Soul Calibur 4. The thing with 4 was that I guess it was the same in 5 too, but in 4 it was an auto kill, so I guess it bigger impact. All the moves had different values for guard damage.
And it really depended on who you were playing against.
Yeah, it just so happened that like some of the most roachy characters in the game had some of the strongest guard damage. Like Valdo had really, really, really strong guard damage, but like in that game he was thought to be pretty linear, so it wasn't as like outrageous as it seemed, but it was still really strong. Ivy's was just stupid across the board. Like her sword BB broken like 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is like coupled with everything else, it was outrageous.
I mean, and then there were certain characters that they weren't really viable without it. Because
yeah. Like Zosima was a big part of his game for sure. And if he didn't have that, then
Mina,
like, he was already in a pretty rough spot. Yeah, Mina definitely a good example too.
I mean, to me, I don't like when there's too much going on, because not as far as us using it as players, but as the people who, Namco doesn't have the best history of patching Calibur games. And I think when there's too much for them to be working on, then a lot of things can get lost. And I guess I'm just gun shy. It makes me a little nervous whenever they have, too many things that they got to be working on, and too many things that they have to balance out. And so, I would really prefer if they just kind of took it out the game.
Well,
totally.
Here's a thought that I just kind of was thinking about. What if instead of like breaking the guard equated to damage on your opponent, what if it just like buffed your attacks or something like that? How do you feel about that instead? Like it like acted as a buff or something, like for the remainder of the round or something like that, instead of just being like you break their gauge and suddenly they have to take this big combo or they insta die like Soul Calibur 4.
Kind of like the rage thing in Tekken.
Kind of, yeah. Except I guess it's like a reverse rage or something like that, because it's like rewarding you for being on the.
I mean, I'd be on. I'd be, like I said, I would actually be happy with anything but a guard break.
Okay.
But once again, that's kind of an old school mentality, And y'all know I'm an old school guy, but I'm cool with a lot of the newer things. I understand games change, and you can't have the same thing over and over again. But overall, I'm just like I said, I'm more afraid of the balancing issues of it. Like, honestly, if you could tell me that guard break would be, characters guard gauge games would be even across the board, I'd be happy with that. I'd be fine. But Namco doesn't have the best history of balancing things, especially for Calibur. So it makes me a little bit nervous. Party Wolf being a Soul Calibur 5 guy, what do you think about the guard gauge?
I think it's great, personally. And I think the one thing that made it not too good in 5 is that you couldn't move around safely. I think there was too many things to stop you from defending in 5. In this game, it's not the case. And I think that was the main issue with guard gauge damage. The things that I don't like in Soul Calibur 6, which is very minimal. It's very minimal. But one thing I don't like, and it'll easily change with time, is I don't know what the fuck lethal hit does. And
yeah.
The other thing I don't understand is why they extended the gut system to exist earlier in the life bar. I think that's a bad idea, personally. But that's really my only gripes with the game so far.
Well, could you expand on that? Because I didn't really get to see any of that.
So you'll notice in the life bar HUD that, you know how in Soul Calibur 5, like, you start blue and then when your life gets low, it gets yellow?
Right.
That happens earlier in the match.
How early?
Well, so your initial gauge starts green when nobody has taken damage, then it turns to blue, and then there's another tick, I think, and then one more tick after that where it's yellow. So it looks like there'll be a lot of damage scaling throughout the entire match, and I don't know if that's that cool.
Well, we'll see how they go, because I know like the life bars are usually temporary; they're for aesthetic purposes in the beginning. So I mean, did you notice a downtick in damage when the colors changed?
Yes, it's very apparent that in Guts
do
less damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really obvious that was happening. Just to play like devil's advocate too, just for the sake of like development of the game, it could be that for the sake of the demo, to give players a longer opportunity to play, that it's like that. But again, just to like on the other end of that, it could very well be that that's how it's going to be in game currently, and that could change between now and whenever it releases. But I think
and we all know that, you know, especially those of us who were waiting on 5 and we were catching any little thing when it was released, things were infinitely different.
yes,
when the game actually
so
came out.
much change, so much change.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's probably not even like outrageous to think that everything we're seeing right now is already changed to a degree, obviously, because right now the game looks way more polished than Soul Calibur 5 was when we saw it for the first time.
Right.
But
yeah,
yeah, like things are very, very.
For those of y'all who are watching this shit, don't go into panic mode if you see something you don't like. Just wait.
Obviously be critical, but like it's not the end of the world.
Oh yeah,
and it's not finalized until the game's out. So.
Yeah, we have easily I don't know how many months until we can speculate that it will likely come out.
We got a while.
Let me ask y'all this: what and Partisan, he knows my thoughts on this a lot. I think Partisan Wolf would too, but I have a suspicion, and I know a lot of people would be happy about that because it's sooner. But I have a suspicion they're going to try to squeeze this game in around March or April, and y'all know why.
Yes.
And I'm not a big fan of that. You know, mind you, I would love the game as soon as possible, but I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I could give you reasons like that would be good for both ends, but I can see why it would want to come out in that period.
Right.
Like Evo being a big factor, obviously.
That's the biggest factor for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I can't remember who I was talking to this about. I think it was just like a group chat when the thing was announced the other day. But like all the stuff they did for Tekken, I was like, so like say they did that for Calibur as well, right? It wouldn't make sense for them to do that later in the year. I don't think they did that with Tekken at least. I think it came out.
No,
like,
yeah, it didn't.
Yeah,
the
it came out
first
during the summer.
Evo, it appeared at, it was still not like available, but I believe they were available at I believe didn't the Wizard World start probably did the Wizard Worlds kind of start before Evo and whatnot? Like there were opportunities to go and play the game, but just there was no official game. Yeah.
That's half true. You could play Tekken 7 original, but Tekken 7 Faded Retribution came out around Evo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was the different change. Yeah, so they didn't officially release the game, but yeah, they had that little issue there. When like your speculation, it makes a lot of sense. But in a way, I would kind of hope that like at least like just have like don't release the game, but I guess have the game maybe there. I mean, even there, I'm still kind of iffy on because I feel like it would be kind of silly to do that. But it's not. It's definitely not an option It's definitely an option we could consider in this case.
Like say the game's just even there as like just a testing or like marketing thing.
That'd be my ideal situation. Like if at Evo one of their drawing points is Soul Calibur 6 isn't out yet, but we'll have excuse me,
the chance to play it.
Yeah, because I honestly believe for the betterment of the community, for the lifespan of this game, that it would be beneficial if it came out after Evo.
Yeah, I can definitely agree on that.
If you look at history, it just works out better that way for us. And I was kind of encouraged by what's Okubo, whatever his goddamn name is. Because when they asked him at the end, when can we expect it? He's like, "Hey, look, we're trying to get it out there, but that's all I can say." So, I mean, I'm kind of encouraged by that. That it seems like they're trying to take their time on it. But I know a lot of people will want the game out earlier than later. But my ideal situation would be August, sometime in August, in the summer, after Evo. Then they can put it on the schedule for Evo Japan the next year, because that's in January, right? So you got 6 months of play.
Oh, hello.
What's that?
Oh, Zach, are you back? It seems like he is.
Go on, Greatone.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have like 6 months of play where they can, fine tune it. We can find find the bullshit. Hopefully they get patched completely, or competently, I should say. And you get hyped up for it in for Evo Japan. They put it in the Evo main event 6 months later. We've got a whole year lifespan on the game, and it's been sustained. It's carried throughout the whole. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden, but yeah, I as and trust me, we know about the wait. We've been there. It sucks. You want to pull your goddamn hair out, but honestly, I feel as far as for the lifespan of the game and keeping people interested and committed to playing it, they need to put it out towards the second half of the year than before. Because if they try to squeeze, like they did with Injustice that one year, remember they put it out in April, and they're like, oh yeah, that gives you 2 months to play it, and then we're gonna have it as an Evo main game. And of course they had a lot more support and a bunch of different patches and shit, so it kind of sustained the life of that game for a little while. But yeah, I really hope it comes out towards the second half, and by that time, I'm sure they'll have a lot of game testing on it, a lot of feedback and things like that. Not that they listen all that well, but still, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not trying to. I'm going to remain positive about the interaction with Namco and see how they work on it all the way through, except for Markman. Fuck that guy. I said it, and I'll say it again. Fuck Markman.
I think that if they release the game before Evo, I think it has less of a chance of being at Evo altogether. And I say that because Namco is trying to push Dragon Ball FighterZ C and Noctis DLC. So right. I think both of those games would be at Evo before Soul Calibur, and I think the nature of Evo encourages Capcom games, however shitty they may be, and I think they would have an anime game, and they would have an NRS game, and that's a lot of games to run, and they may not just say, fuck it, that's too many games, we're not going to put Soul Calibur in there.
Yeah, but the Evo's had a recent history of, hey, let's put the newest and brightest game in, and companies want it because that has people going out buying copies so they can train for Evo, and then like they're not worried about the long dollar, they're worried about that fast short dollar. You know what I'm saying? And Namco has a history of, paying certain people to, hey, put our game in right now, so we could get some attention on it. I mean, I really don't know how it's going to work out, so I don't want to seem like like everything I'm saying is some sort of fact, but I'm hoping that it doesn't play out that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw something where they were talking about a Namco tour with Tekken, Dragon Ball, and Calibur after it comes out.
That'd be so good.
That'd be sick.
Be great, especially towards the, like I said, towards the second half of the year. You want to get people going out. It'll keep the games going after Evo. You know what I'm saying? Like
it just adds like a sustained life to the game just by having that, right? Because like there's always something to look forward to. Encourages people to actually travel out to events and tournaments.
Oh yeah,
right.
Rack up points, you can qualify, man.
Exactly.
I think the fact that they didn't announce like spring 2018, summer 2018, the fact that they just said 2018 leads me to believe it'll be later in the year than before Evo.
Right.
Because the way the interview came across was like, we're doing the best we can, but we can't really.
Yeah, so don't
I feel like
tweet
if it was
every
closer,
goddamn second and be like, "Hey, where's the game? Put it out." Y'all are assholes. We need the game now. Like to me, that was.
I feel like if it was closer to being done, they would have said something like, probably they would have given a little more of an estimate. I think.
Right.
It could also be that after what happened with Tekken 7 releasing in early 2017, they decided not to do any hard release dates or release areas.
Bro.
Like,
Let them take their time with it anyway,
yeah.
especially
So
considering.
there
I
was
mean,
a
it's
pretty
good.
big backlash for that, huh?
Sorry.
What, the Tekken thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there was a pretty big backlash for, that whole
Early 2017, baby.
yeah.
I think it's more of a meme now, but I'm
Early
not too.
2018, guys.
And I mean, it's understandable because they fucked over a lot of people. I know they fucked over Biggie. They fucked over a lot of people.
They fucked over me.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to mention it. They fucked over people. It's like, hey, Tekken, yeah, and hey, buy your plane ticket. You got to buy it ahead of time. And but wink, wink. And nah, fuck y'all. No, sorry. We're gonna go send it to some local arcade in SoCal somewhere. But no, you can't have it at one of the biggest tournaments on the East Coast. Sorry.
Oh yeah, and if you guys have any quick questions for me, I only have like 5 more minutes before I have to go.
Actually, all right. Here's a good one. Since we were talking about what Namco should be doing in terms of the livelihood of Soul Calibur 6, what do you think we can do on our part as a community to keep life?
Stream, make articles, and teach new players.
Content. Yep.
Content.
That was what I was going to say.
If you can make media happen, you're fine. If you can teach people, you'll make people want to play for longer.
Don't be a dick.
Don't try to cater too hard to people who are old, because old people are grumpy and they don't care.
Don't be toxic.
You can't make.
Yeah, that's one thing I want, because I kind of came in on the tail end of some things I saw in chat, and I want to talk about this game. I think that this game will be, and I'm hoping, I shouldn't say think, but I'm hoping that this game, from what I've seen, will bring in, we'll settle the debate between the old heads and the new heads, because this game has a little bit of that, a little bit of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, you can stop looking down your nose at somebody else for playing a different game. We're all playing this game here now. Now let's see who's the best. You could talk all you want about what you did in the older game. You could talk about all you want about, oh, you just did that in that game. You couldn't do it in this game. All right, well, screw all that. We're all playing this game now. You like it. I like it. I think.
Yeah. Equal footing.
I'm all for rivalries and everything like that. But the whole and both sides are guilty of this. The new school and the old school. The whole, well, doesn't matter what you did in your game because my game was better, your game was nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's silly shit. I really, it's like it's entirely different thing. Honestly, if you think about it, you can say a game like Soul Calibur 2, when it comes to Soul Calibur 5, it might as well be a Tekken game or a Street Fighter game. They're just different games. They have the same title, but they're different games. So you don't go around saying, oh, well, Daigo, you ain't shit because you did, what you did in Street Fighter, but you can't do that shit over here. No, because it's a different game. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's like Soul Calibur 2, Soul Calibur 3, 4, 5. They're all completely, they're the same. They may have the same title, but they're different games. So I don't care what you did back in the day. I don't care what you did right now. When it comes to this new game, let's all buckle down and hey, we can talk shit about this game right here. Everything else, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because with this community, I've noticed there's a lot of bitterness, and a lot of it comes from the old school heads, especially them SoCal assholes, who they really can't get over, the fact that any other game in the series was made. Period. But that bitterness leads to, hey, you know what? Fuck that. Let's just not play it all. You know what I'm saying? And we need to get away from that.
You would think that would have happened already, to be honest. Like, when the new game comes out, that's where the attention should be, period. But how it's happened in the past, hopefully.
I mean, I've seen a couple of people who have already come back and who have a history of being, this, I'm just here because, I'm interested in the game. Like, they start off really well. but then the game doesn't play out the way they want it to, or it's not exactly how it doesn't. Their strengths don't cater to what the new game is, and so this game is bullshit, and then they start telling other people that. You know what I'm saying? Especially newer people. When newer people come in, and I want to let y'all know, I'm an admin now, baby. I see that shit. You gone. I'm not playing no bullshit. I'm an admin now, baby. I don't have to ask nobody to do it for me. I will kick your ass out. You start fucking with new people coming in, you're gone. I don't care who you are. And you better ask about me.
I'll see myself.
Just a reminder before I go, if you guys genuinely want to learn the game and don't want to like complain about the game not allowing you to do well, hit me up for a DM and I'll invite you to a Discord where we can all attempt to learn the game together. Just don't be a troll and don't be a bitch. That's all I ask.
Oh,
Party Wolf plays Party Wolf is, and I don't want to blow smoke up his ass, but Party Wolf has played a large part in teaching a lot of people and maintaining their presence in this series. So really, if you got questions, hey, ask him. You can ask me, but I'm not as smart as he is. I'm not very good at articulating my thoughts. I'm just
don't
kind of
sell
like
yourself short, man.
But you can always ask me. I would say Partisan, but he's a traitor. But we're all here, and I mean I think that's the main point, is that just be helped. Like anything before this game, it doesn't matter. Everything as far as the sustainability of this community and keeping people, keeping the lifespan of the game going, it's all about helping each other. And I've got no problem with doing, when it comes to playing and when it comes to that tournament and you sit next to me, that's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? But beforehand, if you see something, it's like, look, this is bothering, I don't understand this, or, yada, 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 ask. And if somebody doesn't want to help you, let me know. I'll have a nice little conversation with you. Because that's all we need. We need that shit. Partisan did it in Soul Calibur 4. Party Wolf did it in Soul Calibur 5. They pumped out videos of, look, this was what's going on. Hell, just the basics of the directional thing. 6-6 forward. Like they actually made videos of this type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So if other people can do that, because it's a hard. I've seen it. I can tell you of 3 people right now. It was Partisan, there was Party Wolf, and there was Malice. And they were the 3 main ones who were putting up articles, putting up content. And it's a hard job for one person to do. And it burns you out. So go out there. I mean, it's easier than hell to stream nowadays and record things and put them up on YouTube. And you know what I'm saying? Hey, put it out there.
Man, you got a PS4, you can stream.
You have a PS4, you can stream. That's true.
And I may even do something if Partisan will teach me how to edit. But I mean, to counter that point though, if you're a new guy, don't think you're gonna make your bones putting out bullshit. You may not. Here's the thing: you may not know it's bullshit, but if enough people tell you it's bullshit, don't get offended. Just know that what you thought you knew isn't exactly what it is. I'm not trying to discourage new people from finding new things, but we all remember the Fury Clan. Remember that, Canadian?
Yes.
Yeah, and you understand what I'm saying? It's like, oh, let's put out combo videos where nobody is blocking, or and that type of shit. Like,
like when it's exhibition stuff, like it really needs to be stated. But I think that was the issue there, is that there wasn't a clear distinction that these were like just like completely showman, like kind of combos and demonstrations that are probably not going to happen against anybody that's actually playing the game.
And for those who do make those type of videos, and that's your goal, just to put out an exhibition, type video where it's like, hey, look, here's some fancy shit. It may not, it may not be viable, but hey, it looks cool. Then understand that you're gonna have assholes that come in. Hey, you'll never be able to pull that off in a match. It's like, I know that, asshole. I said that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So don't be discouraged by just, if you just want to put it out there for the aesthetics of the thing, cool. Like I said, content helps. It brings people in. I know I watch a shit ton of videos. I know I share a shit ton of those videos.
Yeah.
So put it out. If you plan on getting people to come to your channel, kind of have a game plan on what you're gonna do. Just sitting there and playing casuals with somebody over and over again, unless you're a larger than life type personality or somebody who's well respected in the community, you're not going to get a lot of people who just hang around to watch you play. So have a game plan. Be like, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm trying. I'm having a problem with this character, so that's why I'm going to run a 1st to 10 against, a Killick who I'm having problems with, and maybe y'all can help me get through that barrier wall of what's holding me back against this character. Have a game plan, especially if you're new to the community, if you're new putting content out. Once again, I don't want to discourage people from putting content out. Just kind of have a concise plan on what you're trying to put out there where it'll be helpful towards the people watching. Because especially when this game first comes out, people are going to be grasping for knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So,
what's the appeal for like those that aren't practical? Like, is that like what?
Just flashiness. Like, cool. Same thing applies in Tekken. Tekken has a lot of ridiculous and very unconventional combos, but like, it's just the flashiness of all those characters and how good the game looks makes it look like, oh man, I wish I could pull that off. Like, everyone goes insane over like some of the Mishima's execution because it takes a lot of skill to perform the combos and whatnot. The damage output may not be great, and the idea of getting these combos off are almost near impossible and very not practical. But just the visual aesthetic, I guess, to it is what makes it like very appealing in a way. Like, oh man, look at that damage stack up. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Also, it does help to get out the tedium, the boredom of running the same shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what? I know I'll probably never use this, but at least I see what this character's capable of. Let me see if I can pull that off, in practice mode. It kind of just breaks up the monotony. But if y'all remember, one of those combos happened to a very well-known player at EVO, in top 8. And that was some exhibitionist type shit. Like, that was not supposed to happen. Like, you never saw that. I hate to put him out there because I know it hurts him. But what Decapon did to Woes, with Tyrion and those wall combos.
Oh yeah,
combo. Yeah, okay, right.
That was some Fury Clan type shit. Yeah, that was like what? I mean, because that was one of those. You had to be just in the right position in the corner, had just the right wall splat off a certain move. You know what I'm saying? And he did that on purpose. He was like, "Hey, fuck it, I'm in the right spot. I'm gonna try it out. Let's see how it goes."
Oh yeah,
and it worked. And that shit was that. I was there, and I remember hopping up like, "That's a Fury Clan shit. That's a Fury Clan shit," because that was not so. It's good to put it out there. It's entertaining and everything, but don't get defensive if somebody starts saying, "Well, that's not viable." Yeah. Know that it's not viable. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't sit there thinking, "Oh yeah, I'll be able to pull this off." Bullshit.
Yeah, like if you make a disclaimer before the video begins or in the information or whatever, and it says that like this is clearly for fun. These combos are probably not going to happen in a match. They're possible, but unlikely to happen. Yeah. Exactly.
Because every time I put up a video, I'm just very meticulous about that shit. Like, will this actually work? Is this like something I could do in a match, or is there some setup that makes it guaranteed, or is there a way out of it? I try to figure all that out before I even say, "Hey, there's some new combos, new tech, whatever." So I mean, it could just be me, and I could just be like so into the competitive side of things, I miss the casual stuff. But Yeah, that's really all I was asking about, because I know I've seen people do it in other forums, like in Test Your Might and SRK. They'd be like, "Hey, look at this combo that does like a bajillion damage, but it starts off a like I-38 move." And it's like, all right, that's never gonna
happen.
that'll
Right.
probably never land. But
like I say, but the reason I bring that up is because once again, it is content that's been put out there, and it's something to. You never know what will inspire somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of shit that Belial put out in the beginning, people were like, oh, there's no way that's gonna, like his wall combo videos and things like that. This is back in Soul Calibur 4. For those, yeah, I mean, they were beautiful, but you were sitting there like the very first few ones he put out, they weren't as, everyday type use moves like his later projects were. In the beginning, it was like, who's gonna use that HEI in that situation? But the fact that you knew that you could was educational.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I never even thought to use it there. That made, oh, okay. Yeah, and it just kind of makes you spread your awareness of what you can do with your character. So
I look at it a different way. Like sometimes I'll see stuff like that and I'll be like, all right, well, if Mitsu can do this during that string, then what can Talum do? Or what can, Killick do or whatever? Like maybe they have a similar...
Right. Yeah, so the point is, put the content out, get it up, you know what I'm saying? I mean, whatever it is, whatever you think, and don't take offense if you're a newer person and you've got people, trying to shit on your videos or whatever. Just keep going. The more you learn, the more you'll teach, and it just helps everyone out. And it draws eyes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because there's so many times where, I know for a fact, and nowadays, especially if somebody wants to get into something new, what's the first thing they do? They don't even Google it anymore. They YouTube. Like, shit, how do I do this? So it's my dream to have a skill project for every character in this game, like a broken down, concise skill project, a la Belial and Soul Calibur 4. Like I'd be so happy if we were to get that, over the long haul.
I'll definitely do mine for whoever I play. I'm always doing that kind of shit.
Right. Yeah, and it's helpful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people want to see that shit, and people like the flashy shit. They want to see shit, and we need everything we can to draw people in. You know what I'm saying?
This up while I was disconnected about complain about new games coming out, how they're easier for public, for the masses to get into, and they're not as high tech and all that as the old school games. And some people have a problem with like easy execution and fewer moves and this and that.
I think that's silly. No, I don't think it was, not really, but I think that's a silly mindset, because when it comes down to it, in this, it's all about your strategy. You know what I'm saying? What the other player is doing, what with that character. Like, if you could sit there and just pull combos all goddamn day, I mean, who's gonna play that shit? You know what I'm saying? It always breaks down into the high tension pokes and for lack of a better term, because I hate this fucking term, footsies.
I hate it too.
But I mean, that's
Just
what it
handsies.
is. You got you're trying to set up positions. You're trying to bait things out. You want the number. To me, the most important thing in every caliber so far has been creating whiff punishes. Being able to get people to throw some shit out at the wrong time, and you plan that, and now you're punishing them for it. I think that's been the most important thing in every game in the series. You can punish all you want. You can drill your punishes, which is important. You can learn, I don't know, how all your combos and move mechanics and everything like that. But the number one thing that shits on that stupid mentality of this game was better for this and this game was better for that is, okay, well, how good were you at making people miss and fucking them over for it? Every top player in each one of these games, that's what they were good at.
Yeah.
Woes is good at it. Zeph is good at it. Mick was good at it. Rob was good at it. Thuggish was good at it. LP was good at it. They're just really good at causing you to do something, and they plan that shit so they can punish you for it. So, like I said, the reason I bring all that shit up is it's a silly mentality for anybody to talk about how one game is, more skillful than the other.
Right. Because I mean, at the end of the day, what does that even mean to most people? What is skillful? Just how hard something is to do, or is it the mind games behind it? Like there's a lot of terms that get thrown around, like skillful and solid, and it's like, do you even really know what you're basing that on, or is it,
Or just like it's just maybe just a broad term used to describe just trying to describe it. But I did want to take actually something when you guys were when you were talking about content, Great One. I have noticed two things that have ended up being extremely popular, just for like in terms of what content love is. Partywolf's Thunderdome. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because I believe he started it either in 2015 or late 2014. I don't remember when it officially began to start, but the reason why I think those are probably the most effective is just people love seeing hot matches between just well-known players, top players, or just even like casual grudge matches and everything else like that. People just love to see people kind of swing at each other, regardless of the situation. Because like Party Wolf was like, at the time he only had like 200 followers and whatnot, and he would only get like basically 10 views. During Thunderdomes, he would get over 100 viewers almost consistently whenever he did a Thunderdome. Now,
not to take away from Party Wolf, but I do want to say that started off with Zeph and Partisan.
Yeah, exactly. Like exactly. That's where it's like I'm glad. Like it's also those names that help him along the way and whatnot. Just like, of course, I'm assuming everyone's going to kind of do this. Maybe if he ever brings it back, the issue that stemmed from doing these is just like it turned from like having like scheduled consistent matches with like a lot of good people. It began to turn like, all right, who wants to just fight on stream for like a 1st to 5 and like nothing. It wasn't really that hype at all. It would be between like a nobody and it's like, well, it's like. I don't know. It's like that's where it kind of like devolved. But like, if we could keep something that kind of consistent or something like that, like just even like the casual tournaments that like Unseen Wombat did.
Well, here's my thing with that. Especially in the beginning of the life cycle of the game, I think it's good to put that out because first off, we don't know who's going to be the top players with this new game, right? So we're gonna need a few months to get that somewhat established, and then people will be excited to watch, player A with their character versus player B with their character. Mm-hmm. So in the beginning, I would think that you may want to build up, lesser known. I'll put it to you like this. I got into the UFC in 2007. I became a really big fan, and I didn't know one fighter from the other. I didn't, anything like that. But the way they advertised was, I remember it was Diego Sanchez lost to Josh Koscheck and is coming back for revenge. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Like his only loss is against such and such. So that the storyline brought me in, and it made me recognize those two fighters. Now, mind you, they were both very skilled fighters, and they had something to build on. Like you can't build on two players who are scrubs, and but if you build up it's like, hey, they fought before, it was a close match, and now they're going at it again. Those who don't know, they're just like, oh, it's a Soul Calibur 6 match. Oh, let me go watch this. I don't know who, because they don't know who anybody is.
Yeah.
And so there's we're seeing quality matches. And, we build up those type of storylines. I think it'll just be beneficial for everybody as far as building up newer players. And it helps their confidence, and it makes them commit even more because now they don't want to suck in front of an audience. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So we kind of went backwards in 5 because those matches came after the game was already kind of dying off, because the 5 died off really fast. You know what I'm saying? Comparatively to other games. And so, people were just hungry because those players were established. I think to be honest, I think the busting open was the Zeph versus Omega Thunderdome, because that brought in like 130.
Yeah, that was a big one.
I think it got up to like 180. You know what I'm saying? And the Dominicans showed up hard. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of what busted. But the thing is, at that point in time, that was our Mayweather Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? It was our Mayweather McGregor. Well, not really, but I'll stick with Mayweather Pacquiao. Because these were 2 well-known players who nobody had ever seen play against each other, and we knew that they were both top of the line fucking guys, and we couldn't wait to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? So and then it kind of devolved after, a couple, because it was just like people were just wanting to keep things going. Like Party Wolf was just trying to put content out there, and he's like, hey, maybe we might get a new head who's interested by watching this type of shit. So yeah, it was. I've been in talks with a few people, because mind you, we've been talking about this for a long time now, and I've been in talks with a few people. We've got plans set up for things like that, and I've been keeping an eye out for people I think who are go-getters. You know what I'm saying? And seem to be really serious about taking this next game serious. So I'm going to promote those type of people as much as I can. And yeah, there's going to be organized content out there. It may not be I don't want to flood. I don't want it flooded, but with that type of content. But I also want to be able to help, because like I said, we can't just put it all on one person. We can't put it on Party Wolf to do it, because he got burnt out.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna go on. Is like people really need to help out. And that's what I want Lubisky contribute to that. Where Lubisky it would have probably gone way longer. Lubisky had just we lifted on one person to kind of lead us all along. It's like no, he's leading us along, but he's also opening the door. It's like, all right, guys, I can do this. A lot of you can do this, but you're just not. So that's why he eventually died out. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, I think it's really. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think it's really do you want to take initiative? Because people are always and I know sometimes you don't have the resources to do it. They're like, oh, we should start a podcast, or we should do a Thunderdome thing. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, you can't be discouraged, because it's human nature for people to be like, who is this guy? I ain't watching that shit. So you can't be discouraged. Just the number one thing that you need to have is consistency. Even if you could only do it once a week, you do it every time. That if it's a Friday at 8 p.m., you do it every Friday at 8 p.m. You know what I'm saying? So don't be discouraged, because it's human nature for people to go to what they know. It's like, oh, well, yeah, Partisan is doing this, and we're all gonna go watch his shit. And then you're saying, hey, well, I'm gonna have these guys play on my channel tomorrow, and you may see some asshole be like, who gives a fuck? Don't worry about that asshole. Keep doing what you're doing. You're going to get people to come in. You may get a lot of people who talk shit, but they're still gonna be there, because that's the thing about these games. We all have that one common factor, is that we're all around for this damn game. You know what I'm saying? And so even if they want to talk shit and act better about whatever, and we all know those kind of assholes that are out there, they're still going to be there. They're still going to be around. They're still going to watch. So yeah, just put it out there. Know that you're going to have bigger streamers. You're going to have bigger people, but you'll grow exponentially, little by little, piece by piece. And, it'll be for the worthwhile of the community. But don't put your brother, Buddha Lover 42069 versus, some Goku fucker.
Some Goku fucker.
You know what I'm saying? From down the street. You can do that if you want, but you better know that people really aren't going to try to watch that shit.
Yeah.
I think but that's why I was saying, I think it's really important at the beginning, we've got to promote some of these newer, lesser known players. And they have to take, the cream always rises to the top. They have to take the initiative and show that they are a player worth watching. You know, so it's worth my while to tune in when I hear about, you know, Buddha Lover for 2069. Like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been watching him grow little by little. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. So, well, I don't want to put too much out there because it hasn't been, you know, everything hasn't been worked out yet. But know that type of shit will become. People will have that to look forward to, especially considering I'm usually the central hub. Like whenever we had online, like a lot of those Thunderdomes were played on my room. I made the account because I paid $200, damn near $200 for my internet. So I don't mind doing that. I don't mind being the central server type guy to, you know, hopefully the online. What do y'all think the online is going to be like? Because the whole
with Unreal Engine, the new, yeah.
If it's on PC, then we don't have to worry about PSN's bullshit. And even that said, I don't think it'll be that bad on consoles either. But PC will definitely be the way to go for online games.
I remember Soul Calibur 5's online was pretty good in the beginning.
Yeah, it was not bad at any means.
Like terrible as far as the connection, but I remember like the first couple of weeks, it was like playing offline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it got worse over time.
Yeah.
Right. The stream thing that you were talking about, great one. I feel like the earlier you start the stream with this new game, you're going to have a lot more success because people are just going to watch anyway, like for characters, for new shit, for, you know, just to see, oh, it's Soul Calibur 6. People could be watching that play other games and they just happen to tune into Soul Calibur streams or whatever.
Right.
Maybe a year in, then yeah, you're going to have some kind of name or somebody with you. But in the beginning, there really shouldn't be any discouragement at all because it's like somebody somewhere is going to watch it if it's Soul Calibur content. So
yeah, no, I agree. That's what I'm saying, and I want to build those types of. What I'm saying is, I would want to put, like I said, I want Buddha Lover 420 to. That's who I'd want to stream in the beginning, and then if he shows the initiative that he's trying to improve, he's actually not just trying to button mash and be like, oh, this game is bullshit. Then yeah, I want to build him up so people a year down the line, people be like, oh, that's another Wolves. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And I it's going to be difficult in the beginning because you're going to have a lot of people putting it out there. You know, there's going to be a lot of clash of times, and you're going to have 6 streams at one time, and you know what I'm saying, things like that. But I think we're going to have to work it out later on after once things settle down a bit, we'll work out some sort of streaming schedule between the few of us who will remain streaming. Because like I said, I really truly believe the to build your stream up and to get people familiar with, you just got to stay consistent. You know what I'm saying? And I know for a fact that I'm going out and I'm gonna be putting myself heavily in debt for this, but I'm going out to get a PC for this game. I'm gonna go out and get the Xbox One for the Xbox One version, and for the Switch, I'm gonna go out and get the Switch. But the Switch is more for my own personal use because you can take that to work and just play on it on a handheld. But if there's a big enough scene on the Switch, why not stream from the Switch?
Actually, a good point. Like, what do you think people are mostly going to be playing on? Is it PC now? Is that the big thing? Like everybody's trying to get it on PC?
Yeah, that would probably be the big thing.
You got these. I think it works out better on the PC. If you go by Tekken, if you're going by Tekken standards, what happened recently, then yeah, I would think PC would probably be. But we have to understand that that's not what's going to be used at tournaments unless you're going to VIA. You know what I'm saying? But so well, I put it out there. My plan. I have 3 days off. I'm off Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and I plan on streaming from each console or unit one each day. So like for example, Monday I stream from PS4, Tuesday I stream from Xbox One or Switch, and Wednesday I do PC. That kind of thing. And so I start seeing people like because you have different people who play on different systems pretty much exclusively. Like that's what they favor. So it's going to be kind of rough because you're going to see people stretch, and there's going to be a backlash, as there always is when it comes to what console's being used, or whether it's PC or console, or that type of shit. But we'll have to work all that out, and people are going to have to remain open-minded for what the community decides. More than likely, we all know it's probably going to be PS4 that wins out.
Like, isn't that how it is with Tekken? I imagine whatever it is with Tekken, it will be the same for Calibur.
Yeah, but the backlash that comes from the PC users, which they have a point in saying it's infinitely better on the PC version.
It's like, the thing is though, is that it's not as it's harder to organize that. Like if you like you said, VIA, right? I'm pretty sure he does that with his tournaments,
right?
But that's not always feasible. So
yeah,
I think
like Big E's not going to go out and get
a bunch of PCs,
100 different
right?
PCs. Yeah,
exactly. And like the thing is too is that not only is that an issue, but like Sony's often a sponsor, which just forces it to be on PS4 anyways.
Right,
even if it is possible, So
right.
So when you play Tekken, can you play somebody on PC through PS4 online?
No,
you can't.
No, it's not.
You have to have a PC.
It's possible to have cross-platform, but for that game, it does not exist.
I mean, that's always a dream. There's always going to be people. Hopefully it's going to be cross. But from what I was speaking to somebody about, it's kind of a difficult thing for those type of games. Like I don't know, it's some kind of techie type shit. So it's not worth their while money wise, because there's not going to be a lot of people who are going to buy the game purely on the fact that it's cross platform. You know what I'm saying? Not this game. They may do it for other games, but for a fighting games historically don't sell as much as shooters and things like that. So it's not worth their while. So give up that dream, people. But
I think the main issue with cross-platform, from my understanding at least, is the fact that Xbox exists. Because I think, or it's either Xbox or Sony. One of them was like really against it for some reason, but the other one was like not so much. Last I recall, maybe I'm just
it was Sony who because Xbox was like, "Hey, let's get it," and Sony was like, "Yeah, fuck you."
Yeah, pretty much.
I was just asking because of the PC thing. I don't really play like console games on PC, so I didn't know if there was like a certain benefit to like, because if you have like half the community on PC and that's not the tournament standard, then will force them to buy the game for something else. I knew that was in place with Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, but I thought PC might have been different, but I guess not.
Well, I mean, and a lot of people are just gonna, if you want to be a tournament player, you're just gonna have to adapt to what the community norm is. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to say, you know what, I'm not buying a PS4, I'm happy with just my PC, and this game's on PC, so okay, well that's fine, but you have to know that the experience is gonna be a little bit different when you're playing at a tournament.
Yeah,
and
like
you can't be bitter towards that. You have to understand that that's what you accepted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to spend the $400 on a PS4 when the tournament organizers don't want to spend $40,000 on new PCs. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, and so, like the way I see it, like, sorry to just interrupt, but like the way I see it, it's no different than like Xbox and PS3 back in the day. Like, it's the same game, and there's slight differences, but you have to be ready to accept that those differences exist in tournament. So you have to prepare to be able to play on PS3.
What would be a difference?
What would be pretty much it's like, as far as I know, there's something with Tekken, and I'm not entirely sure exactly what it is. I just know that there's like it's like a frame delay or something like that. It's slightly different from the PC to PS4 version. Maybe somebody in the chat or somebody here knows better than me, but as far as I know, that's the issue.
Because Party Wolf is a huge he's listed that out over and over again, why PC is better than PS4. But from what I understand, it just runs better on PC. It's they don't have some sort. He said something about a native lag that is in the console version. So, thankfully, Calibur isn't dependent on a lot of one frame type moves. I did see a couple Mitsu just frames though that kind of made my pee tingle, but you adjust. If I can get just frames off on SC4 online and still do it offline, you can deal with the difference between PC and the console. Trust me.
Like, just frames and Calibur have never been like, they've always been pretty lenient. So even if there's like a 2-frame difference, like, sure, some timings might be adjusted, but like, it's not that big of a difference that it would like literally break what you're capable of doing on one version.
I had so much trouble in SC4 doing just frames online. It was ridiculous.
I didn't even try. I mean, it helped that some of them were mashable, but like some other things, it's just like, yeah, what's the point?
Well, I
just had to do it really fast.
Yeah, Mitsu's were slide inputs, so it wasn't that big a deal. But I mean, I used to be able to pull off Cass's 4BBA.
Yeah, there were times where like you could do it and it would like go through the lag. It was weird. But other times, like, I would just resort to mashing it because that felt like it was more consistent. But like, I had the timing down. Like, the timing wasn't difficult offline anyway, so it's like I could afford to just mash when practicing online and then just doing the regular timing in person or offline.
Yeah, you get used to the timing of this. You get used to the timing of when you hit the buttons instead of what you see on the screen. I mean, I know a lot of people learned from visual cues, but if you kept doing it over and over again, you pretty much got the timing right.
Mm-hmm.
You got a rhythm to it. So I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I think you're going to have a lot of a minimum of, but they're going to be loud, angry voices when like it always is when it comes to these different systems.
I remember this old CRT versus H. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Just forget I said
it. Yeah, and a lot of people, they don't understand what we went through. Nowadays, everything's kind of pretty, par for the course. It's like, especially you have these sites like display lag and everything, so just about what people want to use and as far as screens go, and everybody knows what kind of buttons you're going to get for your joysticks and all that type of shit. But I mean, the biggest issue was always like PS pad or Xbox pad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was, you had a lot of people who had issues with that. But
God, I always hated that one because like I started playing like getting into the series on Xbox, and like I was like, wait, what do you mean this is bad? I can execute everything on this perfectly fine. What's the big deal here? But like at the end of the day, whatever. At the end of the day, it's like I never understand that argument because it's like, use whatever you're comfortable with. That's all it is. Like, if you like playing with an Xbox pad because you've been playing with that more than a PlayStation controller, find a way to use that. If you like using it, exactly. If you find a way, or like if you find PS4 or PS3 controller way better, use that. If you use arcade stick and find that better, use that. Like there are options. There's no rule saying you have to you can't use an Xbox controller and be a good player. Like, that's just not how it is. Just use whatever you're comfortable with. Use whatever is most available for practice and what's most consistent. That's all it should be about.
Yeah, but overall, for those, and this is for people, we're talking about for people who are or are planning to be in the competitive aspect of the game, because we pretty much know TOs are going to have, and for those who don't know, TOs means tournament organizers. They're going to be putting everything on PlayStation. There hasn't been any tournament where it's Xbox One or it's PC dominant or anything like that. It's pretty much, if it's been on PS4, they put it on PS4. And so get ready. That's what it's going to be on, more than likely. And but if you're just a casual, you don't really plan on being in tournaments, but you still want to play the game, at a competent level, play whatever you're on. There will be avenues. There's plenty of competitive players who we're going to get it for every system out there. So if you're a real one anyway. I know there's some people like, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to spin it. Well, suck a dick. Then shut up. You ain't got nothing to say about this.
Did we talk about like how good the game looks? Because
it looks so good.
It looks fantastic. Like,
just like the art, just like the aesthetics, kind of being a throwback to the first two games, like just more brightened arenas and more like outdoorsy kind of everything. But like I just noticed, like Soul Calibur 3 and 4 were very dark in terms of color, and I'm just I'm like into art and stuff, so it's probably just me just random. Just noticed everything was like very dark, very brown, gray, heavy. 5 kind of was different, but this one just feels like I'm playing SC1, SC2 again, just from the look at it.
Yeah, the vibrance in the arenas and just like the atmosphere in general in what we've seen so far is already probably like the most, again, like vibrant I've seen in the whole series, honestly. Like five kind of
feel.
Yeah, like 5 kind of like went back to that kind of like it was a pretty colorful and like also kind of vibrant game in comparison to like 4 at least. But still wasn't like, I guess, like 2 and 1. But 6 so far is looking phenomenal, just aesthetically.
It really looks like it has something for everybody. Like I know it was mentioned before, like when we were talking about the old school heads versus the new school heads, but like just the way the way it looks, the way the movement looks, the screen. I talked about this before we went live, but I love the fact that the screen is so close now. The characters are so deep in the background, and it actually affects how long the reach is for the neutral. So if you like just having them closer like that is just like Mitsu could do BB, and it's like half screen now, just off the beginning of the round. Shorter range characters like a Talum or like a Taki or whoever the Natsu replacement is. I feel like that's very, I think, like just being able to use a number of moves just in the neutral at any given time.
I agree. I mean, first off, I just have to say when I first saw it, I said that's SC1 Mitsu. I knew it right off the bat. As soon as I saw the costume, as soon as I saw the little chin whiskers, I was like, that's SC1 Mitsu. Oh my God, they're going back to SC1. And then I saw, I kind of played it. Mind you, y'all know I'm a Mitsu head, and so it was really hard for me to even pay attention
dude.
what the hell Sophie was doing. What?
I said amen, dude, because Mitsu's fucking amazing, dude.
But yeah, so then I looked and I was like, wait a minute, that's SC1 Sophie. So I was really excited by that. Just the overall look of it, it really looks like a polished, like the stages. The stages look so polished, like an upgraded version of those old stages. They may not be identical or anything, but it's like they're paying homage to those older games, and it's like, oh, that's the way it was supposed to look. When you go back and watch the old games, they look good for their time, but it's like, oh, okay, that's just some generic mountain and some water going. But you look at this, it's like, Jesus, that's gorgeous.
And like another thing to consider too, though, is that like it's been like what 5 or 6 years, like it'll probably be like 6-7 years since 5 came out when this finally releases, right? So
Yeah, it's gonna be over 6 years for
So
sure.
like just considering the technology advances since then in gaming alone is like just a world of difference. They have so much to work with now. It's insane.
Yeah,
Actually,
Yeah,
that brings up
it's-
a good question though. What does everyone think of I guess the move sets we've seen for Sophie and Mitsurugi?
I am very happy with what I've seen. Like the one thing like move sets aside, just like the way things are getting blocked, the hit sparks, like the sound effects that we've seen so far, it all just really looks and feels great without even having to play it yet. I remember the first time I played 5 after watching videos of it, it was like I was even more impressed. So I can't wait to get my hands on this game. But as far as the move lists go, uh it looks like there's a lot more going on than like a Soul Calibur 5-esque move list. We haven't seen everything, obviously, so that could be not the case. But from what I can tell, there seems to be a bigger like variance in moves. A lot of like stances are seemingly coming back, like with Mitsu and Relic, and having more of the missed options as well is fucking
And his
amazing.
soldier roll.
And yeah, the animation on that just looks so fucking good. Like I can't get over it. And even like
you can't stop talking about that shoulder roll, huh?
Dude, it's so
That shoulder
good.
roll is lit.
Dude, like if you listen on the one thing, like, you can hear a little roar in the background as he does it.
I'm sorry, Partisan. He keeps bringing up that goddamn roll.
It's really cool though, to be honest. But no, I was just gonna say, like, even with a character that's like traditionally not like as interesting, like with Sophie's move list, right? Like it's not, you don't go like, oh man, who has the most flashy move list? Like nobody in their right mind is be like, oh yeah, Sophia, man, she's just crazy, just crazy, man. So many sick moves, right? But like the stuff she's doing in here, like it looks like it's visually interesting. You know, it's like it's not
dynamic.
just exactly like there's just way more going on, and it's just really good to see that. Like coming from seeing like Soul Calibur 4 and 5 move lists and stuff like that, which weren't bad. Soul Calibur 4 had a great move set, but it's good to see that they're bringing more and adding new things to those move lists and like making them look good at the same time. I'm really happy to see where they go with the other characters as well.
We'll say, like, for as far as Sophie goes, I mean, to us, it's probably not. I mean, we've all seen it all before, but like, Sophie is actually very stylish to somebody who's never seen Soul Calibur before.
Yeah, that's
everything. True. She's spinning around, doing all kind of backflips and kickflips and shit.
Oh, the shield blocking too was super flashy.
Her, Voldo, and Taki, when I first saw Soul Blade, is what made me want to watch that game. I wouldn't even be playing this. We wouldn't even be talking right now if I didn't see like Sophie and Voldo and Taki in some random arcade somewhere.
Yeah.
She can be pretty flashy until you've played through Soul Calibur 4 and 5 and 6 and these other games. You're like, all right, we know everything she can do. She's pretty basic, but
the thing that I noticed was excuse me, I'm sorry, I just put something in my mouth like an idiot. When they were moving, if you look at the way their feet move, it has an SE2-esque type movement. But, you know, it has better animation, so it kind of looks like 5, you know, that kind of shit. But them feet are scurrying, boy. They're moving around.
I didn't notice that. Yeah, they're moving really quickly.
The way I kind of like describe it is like the movement feels like really flighty almost. Like it doesn't feel as heavy as some of the other games. Like it feels like as crisp as like the animations of it looked in like 5 and 4 because they're the newer games, so the animations can be a bit buffed there.
Not 4, but
well, like the animation of the movement itself was fine in 4. It's the fact that the movement it's like they're moving and it looks great, but they're just not going anywhere. That was the issue with 4.
Cement blocks, dude.
Yeah, so like the animation looks great with the movement in 6. But it has that flighted kind of feeling of like Soul Calibur 3, to me at least, movement, or even I guess 2, but to me more so 3 is the impression I have.
That brings up another thing. Did they get rid of Quickstep?
I would imagine so.
Yeah,
it looked like it.
Because if they got rid of Quickstep, that might affect buffering certain 8-way run moves that you can't do in 5. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gone because for a few reasons. One was I'm pretty sure the Sophidia in like the thing that came out today was a bot, and it would probably be spamming that because that's what bots did, and you didn't see it. So there's that. Also, just the fact that like the way the Mitsu was moving in some of the footage, it definitely gave me the impression that they were just like canceling steps into steps, and they were doing it in the same direction several times, and there was no quick step animation happening as well. So pretty sure that that system is not in this game.
Did we mention Soul Charge at all?
Oh
Not
no,
yet.
that's back. That's back.
But I think it's also repurposed.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the same?
No, it's not.
I think the way it functions is probably the same, but like how it's activated and how it lasts, I guess.
Yeah, because it costs. Doesn't it cost? Yeah, it costs that bar, right? I think now it does.
I believe so. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
one bar,
that's what we saw.
So I wonder what it's going to be good for, because I hate that I said that, because it's kind of annoying when you see so many. I wonder what we all wonder, but I do wonder, because Soul Charge was mostly about, and there was a couple of times you used it for different move to set up different move properties, but it was mostly to get counter hit, whether they got hit or whether it was a counter hit or not. But I mean, because I saw the Soul Charge 2-2B that Mitsu had from back in the day. And the Soul Charge is when their weapon lights up, right? When Mitsu's sword.
Yeah, it did like fire. A quick like cinematic thing, and then the weapon was like glowing and shit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, it's one of those things. It's kind of hard to really discuss, because all you can sit and talk about is what you hope it's for and what you think it may be for, because we really have no idea what's going to come or how it's going to end up playing out. I'm excited by it. I always said that I preferred the Soul Charge over the Brave Edge, because I thought that you could use Soul Charge as a Brave Edge mechanic in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they did.
Yeah, and it looks. There's a lot of things. It's funny because there's a lot of things that I said that I would like to see that I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? Because I said I would like to see characters have more stance-based attacks. That can be strung into each other. I said I'd like to see overall combos have more hits to them, even if, but as long as they're the same damage. Canadian, you know how many times I've said that.
Yeah.
Where it's like instead of, for example, a Mitsu combo was 3B, 236B into 1B. And let's just say, for example, that was 69 damage or something like that. Where I would like to see something where it was a 3B into 1-1BA missed B, missed A plus B, 2K, but that's all still 69 damage.
It's like 50 damage.
Oh, so like Broken Destiny damage almost. Or like Broken Destiny combos
I think,
almost.
Yeah. My favorite example is looking at Soul Calibur 4 Cervantes versus Soul Calibur 5 Cervantes.
Right.
And it's like, this dude's doing like literally 16 hit combos for 50 damage. And then you look at Soul Calibur 5 Cervantes and it's like 3B gunshot, 3B, 90 damage.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck? It's not that high, but you know what I mean.
Well, because I was talking about this in the SC6 thread and in chat. People like to hit buttons. It makes them feel like they've accomplished anything.
Combo execution is something that's always been like something people like to see in fighting games.
Even if it's not hard execution wise, it's still something where you feel like you accomplished something because you finished it out by hitting 5 or 6 buttons instead of just 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything Tekken-esque. You know what I'm saying? I don't want strings or any silly, stupid bullshit. that's reminiscent of Tekken at all. I despise that shit. But I still contend that people, we're still all kids at heart, and when we hit buttons, it's satisfying. Bing, 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 bing. Yeah, eat that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's a good feeling. You know what I'm saying?
It's something that like is exciting for both the player and people watching. Like that opportunity to get that big damage in. It's like, oh shit, he got hit. What's this guy gonna get off of it? You know, is he gonna do like launch? Is he gonna launch BB? Is he gonna kill them in one shot because it's Viola and everybody's actually not excited, especially the player being hit? Who knows?
We're very excited. You're like, holy shit, that character is amazing.
Right. The negative to that, though, is the casuals who think they're doing something just because they got some. You know, you always hear I get 12 hit combos. Yeah, bro, but you got 40 damage. Good for you. And you'll never be able to get that off in a real game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to convince. Like, I have a coworker who is obsessed with Tekken, but he's a casual, completely. But he speaks as if he's a
Tekken god.
Yeah, and because he talks about how him and his brother played, and they do this and they do that. When he talks about Soul Calibur games, I literally leave the room. I'm like, I gotta go. I can't listen to you. Like, you can talk that shit about Tekken all you want, but the shit that you're talking about Calibur now, it's time for me to go. But you can't tell them any different. They think you're cheating. They think that's that's that like I've heard this so many times. Oh, that's one of those 8-way guys. They don't know how to play the game. They don't play the game the way it's supposed to be played. You know what I'm saying? You hear that shit and it's just like, oh God, you just don't know. Like
punishing is like breaking the game.
Yeah, how
I'm supposed to block.
So you're supposed to respect me in this move. I'm using only 1A. Respect it and stop punishing.
Spam block. Stop spamming block or stop spam. When this dude said stop spamming BB, I blocked him.
I had somebody call me a character spammer before. That was a new one.
Yep.
I
bring that up once again because I need people, especially people who are planning on being competitive. And because, listen, you're already ahead of the game just by being around us. And I'm not trying to toot our horn, but just by being around us, listening to this podcast, watching different things popping up on 8-way, and like you're already ahead of the game. But know that there's a whole nother level past where you're at right now. So don't get stuck with that. And don't look down at those guys beneath you who are just talking that shit because you were them once before.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Just be patient and just be like, look, try to bring them over bring them out the darkness, bring them into the light, drag them son of a bitches if you got to. Because I know it's very easy to just be dismissive. I know I do it. I know, but I do it after a certain amount of time. Like I'll show patience for quite a while, but if you just see people just fucking hard-headed and just they just don't want to learn. All right, you know what? Just politely leave, or just be like, you know what, you're an idiot, and then leave. Whatever. But if you can be like, hey, look. I can help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know I can't be with you every minute of the day, but there's a whole bunch of resources. Check this out. If you need help on where to start or anything like that, ask for that Greatone admin. He'll help you out. You know what I'm saying? Not the Partisan guy because he's never around, but Greatone's there.
You're just a spectator.
It's not wrong.
I mean, I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. It may take me a while to get back to you, but if you're like, hey, I don't even know where to start.
You're just a spectator.
I love this shit. Ask Partisan, ask Zach, ask Win. I've had conversations with all these guys. I love this shit. I can go on and on and on and on. I love connecting people with different people. Hey, you play with this character. I know a guy who knows how to really play that character. Here's his number. You know what I'm saying? Or here's his tag. I'll hit him up and y'all can get some games and he can show you some shit. I have no problems doing that. And I want as many people as possible to hear that and be like, yeah, I can do that too. But know that you're going to have people who are just, they don't know how, and I don't mean to be insulting about it, but they don't know how ignorant and stupid they really are when it comes to this game. Hey, I'll give y'all a quick story. My boy Sweets, most of y'all met Sweets.
You're just a spectator.
We used to do really well in Soul Calibur 2. We didn't get to play all that much in Soul Calibur 3. Soul Calibur 4 came around, and we were basically casuals for the first year because it was just like,
You're just
I
a
didn't
spectator.
know anything about online or anything like that. But he played off and on because we had casuals in my house for almost 3 years straight. But that's the only time he'd really play. He didn't really know how to grind at that game. And Ramon and DK came to visit 3 or 4 years into the game. They come to visit. Ramon plays my boy Sweets and like 20 or 30 matches or something. Ramon beats a dog shit out of him. 30. Sweets had it in his head that he was decent, he just needed to practice. It wasn't until Ramon beat the dog shit out of him and then told him, you suck. No, you don't understand. There's no helping you. You suck. You are not a good player at all. There's nothing about your play that says, oh, he just needs help with this. You are just bad. That's when it clicked with him like, whoa, I really don't know what the hell I'm doing because I know this guy knows what he's doing. And I thought I was just right at his level, just not as practiced. But he finally put it into terms that made sense to me. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So this is the type of mentality that these kids have. They don't know that they suck. They just think, oh, if I just play a little bit more and if I just do this, I just do that. No, you don't. You need to know how to approach the game. You need to know, first off, you don't know shit. Hitting buttons doesn't mean a goddamn thing. That doesn't lead to wins.
Right.
And you have to understand that these new kids don't know that. They don't understand that. Fighters have always been a specialized type of skill. And you have to learn through getting your ass beat in every way imaginable and learning that, whoa, everything I thought I knew, I don't know shit. A lot of people are going to rebel against that. You dismiss those. Let them rebel. Let them stick to mediocrity. Let them stay casuals. But you'll still see people who, they still got that fire. They want to do more. Those are the ones you want to bring over. Be like, look, I can help you, man. Let me just, there's a lot of resources out there. You're just having some issues with this. Do you know about punishment? Do you know how to punish a character? Do you understand the concept of punishing? Do you understand space control? Things like that. Do you understand that? Like, yeah, you may know how this reverse edge works, and yeah, you may know how to do a 5 or 6 hit combo, but I can make it so you never hit that ever in life and kill you every time. So there's a gap between my knowledge and yours. Let me help you bring you past that gap. Here's how you do it. That's what I want people to be like. I want people to do that type of shit because it's frustrating. It's aggravating. We deal with a lot of the dumbest idiots out there and a lot of the most hard-headed people out there. But unfortunately, our scene is to the point where we kind of need to withstand that to bring more people in because we don't have those Street Fighter numbers, even though they're twins in like a motherfucker. We don't have the support and where people will just withstand whatever and just stick around the game. Calibur's a game that people will abandon at the flick of a wrist. Like, whatever, fuck it, I'm out. I don't want to play this. I'm gonna go jack off or some shit.
I'm just curious. Why do you think that is for Calibur?
Well, okay, I'll put it like this. When Calibur first came out, Tekken was already a well-established series, and it was at the time. It was, you could say, it was the most popular series in the country, passing Street Fighter. Once Street Fighter 2 came out and it started dying off, Tekken was coming up, and then there was an influx of a lot of fighting games at that time. A lot of bullshit. I mean, trash was coming out in the arcades. So when Soul Calibur came out, and it kind of rose above that tier of games, people saw that it was polished and it was pretty good. It was still considered like the little brother to Tekken. You know what I'm saying? And Soul Calibur would not be anywhere near as known as it is right now if it wasn't for Soul Calibur 2 and the fact that Tekken 4 was so universally disliked. When Tekken 4 came out, it brought a lot of those Tekken guys over to Calibur. A lot of them. But then they still remained Tekken players at heart. And with them came the people that they affected, their little brothers, their cousins, their friends. You know what I'm saying? It's usually one person who is serious, and they are the ones who bring other people towards a series. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll have people who, that they want to play and everything like that. But so when they moved on, people just were like, oh, okay, whatever. We'll go back to the real game. You see what I'm saying? Like, that was always the mentality back in the day. But the difference was Soul Calibur 2 was so big and it was so well put together that it changed the narrative, where it was like, oh, Soul Calibur is one of those, it's its own game now. You see what I'm saying? It's not just a Tekken clone. That's what we used to hear that all the goddamn time. Oh, Soul Calibur is it's nothing but a Tekken with weapons. That's all that's all people said. But when Soul Calibur 2 came out and it had such a big scene and it had such a big impact on the country at that point in time, that really changed the narrative, but it didn't change the mindset for a lot of people. It was like, oh, okay, let's try and you know what? It's not the same as the game that I got into. Fuck it, I'm gonna go play something else. Because that's what people historically always did. They just moved on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because Soul Calibur 1, as pretty as it was, competitively, it wasn't all that much.
Competitively.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact that Tekken came first, Tekken was really a hugely popular game, especially with Tekken Tag, Tekken 3, and Tekken Tag. Those games were huge. Then, like I said, when Tekken 4 came out, and it really pissed off a lot of people. So that gave Soul Calibur 2 the opportunity to shine. Hold on real quick. But by that time the habit had already formed of, oh, okay, it's not something I like, I'm move on. It's not what I'm expecting, so I'm just gonna move on to something different. You know what I'm saying? It was just that's how just people did. And then there was a lot of infighting in the scene, and the infighting came from a lot of it stemmed from the fact that people were seeing that the scene was dying, and they were like, Jesus, man, what can we do to change this shit? So it was a lot of pressure, there was a lot of anger, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ego too, you know what I'm saying? And
okay, you think it has more to do with outside of the game than inside the game?
Yeah, I think it's mostly the fact that outsiders don't know what to expect with Calibur. There hasn't been a huge market for Calibur since 2. You understand what I'm saying? So when people are looking at it from the outside, they don't know what to expect. They don't know what it is. They're just kind of going by visual, or they may have put a.
They have like nobody to like look to. Like you look at games like Street Fighter, right? It's like okay, like Justin Wong, Daigo, etc. Like it's changed now. Obviously, it's like completely different players in Street Fighter 5. But like it's hard for outsiders to come in. Like we know who everybody is, right? And it's like, but for new people coming in, they don't be like, okay, like who do I look to get information on this game? Like who's good, who's well known, who can I learn from? And it's just like there's kind of a lot of just gray area for people coming into the community, I think, that just really don't know where to look, because like we like don't market ourselves well, and like just historically, I think the game also doesn't market itself well for the competitive side, at least.
Because here's the thing, and once again, I don't mean this to be insulting, but people are sheep, and they look for something they look for how to be led. You know what I'm saying? You go to Street Fighter, you know where to go. You've seen it. It's been out there. You were probably attracted by something that was out there, and that's what brought you in. So now that's what you're going to follow. You come to Calibur, it's like, and as far as the problem from within, we had a lot of toxic people in this community. Toxic people.
Yeah.
Well, when I said within, I meant just the game itself. I didn't mean like within our community.
Well, I mean, as far as the game, I think that has to do with outsiders, because, like I said, they don't know what to expect from the game itself, and so they're not invested in it. We're already in. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna pick up the game regardless. You see what I'm saying? And we'll probably stick around and invest our time, money, and space to stick around with the series, because we're already in the world of Calibur. You see what I'm saying? So the outsiders, they look at they don't know. They just like, oh wait, there's character building. Wait, what's Chronicles of the Sword? Wait, there's no Chronicles. What's this tower shit in this game? Wait, there's nothing at all. There's legendary souls. What the fuck is that? Wait, these characters aren't even the same as the characters I remember from 5 years ago. Like outsiders, they don't know what's happening. So that's why there's a lot of those factors that just kind of turn people away. It doesn't make them want to invest their time, energy, money, and space. You see what I'm saying? But when I was talking about the inside, I'm talking to people who have invested in the game, but they're just toxic individuals, and they turn people away. And that there was a lot of that in the early days of Soul Calibur 4 for sure. I heard a lot about the Soul Calibur 3 shit, but I had moved and I wasn't really involved in that scene much at all. But when 4 came out, and I remember it was almost scary to post anything as a new person, like even a question, because it was like, hey, I don't understand what's going on with this. Well, you're a fucking idiot. How do you not know this? This game's been out for a year. Just go read something. Dude, there's like 82 pages. You want me to find the answer to this one question, those 82 pages? I'm hoping somebody could help. No, fuck you. You're an asshole. You're too lazy to do anything. It was toxic, dude. And these were nobodies, no names who were doing that shit. But they saw these bigger names who were toxic, and y'all know who I'm talking about. There's a few individuals. And so they ate them. Yeah, you were horrible. You were a terrible person.
Was.
They because they thought that's what they were supposed to do. They saw these older guys, more established players talking that type of shit. So they thought that's what they were supposed to do, make them feel superior or something. And they're gone. And who knows how many people they took with or chased away. You know what I'm saying? So that it's a combination of a bunch of things in my eyes. But overall, I think we can't blame the fact that the game isn't SC2 anymore on all the game's problems. SC2 came out 15 years ago. The people who played that game are married, have kids, or dead. And some of them are in prison. You know what I'm saying? So these new people who are coming in, they weren't sitting there. They're not sitting there like, oh, this isn't like Soul Calibur 2. What the fuck do you know about Soul Calibur 2? You don't know shit about Soul. Besides, remembering when you were 5 years old and playing with Jimmy Bob from down the street and button mashing. So they don't have that much of an investment. But one of the things that they do know is they may know because they played their older brother in Soul Calibur 2 a little bit, and they start looking around and they hear these old Soul Calibur 2 heads saying, oh, those games aren't like Soul Calibur 2, they're trash, don't waste your time. That's where we have an issue. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that caused a lot. That like I said, that's not the only issue, but there's a lot of issues that happen, and that's what that happen to make the people just not invest. So that's why I'm constantly saying, hey, be patient, bring new people in, just we'll help out any way we can. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a new generation, it's a new group of people. You got a lot of these cats who are newer people who we're aiming, like our demographic that we're aiming to bring in are 18 to 22, right? When Soul Calibur 5 came out, they were 12 to 16.
Damn.
So, I mean, I met Partisan when he was 17 years old.
Yeah.
What are you, 25 now?
26.
Jesus.
Damn.
Oh yeah, your birthday's coming up.
Hell yeah.
So this new demographic that we want brought in, they don't have ties to anything. So let's make it worth their while to stick around. Let's let them let's show them how to have fun on a competitive aspect. Make them feel like they're doing something. You know what I'm saying? And you can only do that by teaching, being patient with these people, and helping out. And then you're helping yourself while doing that, because while you're sitting there, you're like, damn. That's why Party Wolf started playing Tekken, because there was a scene to play. He knew there was going to be a scene. There was going to be people to play with, and that's all we want. We just want people to play with, right? We just want to be able to turn the game on. It's like, who's down? And then you get all kinds of requests and shit. That's our ultimate goal.
Which goes back to the point. Which goes back to the point about accessibility, and like I think the fact that Soul Calibur is a very easy game to play helps in bringing people in too. Because as popular as it is, it's like if you haven't played any Tekken games and you try to start with Tekken 7, because there's a lot of legacy skill and things that transition between games, especially when you talk about competitive play, it can be pretty overwhelming for somebody just starting out. I mean, sure, there's resources and stuff that they can look at, but like for Soul Calibur, it's not very heavy on execution, barring a few Just Frames characters or whatever. Ring outs are always available. Damage is not always a big thing with them, but it's like it's not so combo heavy and not so execution heavy should help people feel at least like they're getting quicker. So
yeah, and that's a good term that you use, the legacy skill. There's no legacy skill that in low to mid-level play, you don't need that. To be introduced into the game, you don't need any type of legacy skill. The legacy skill for Calibur, like I said, is spacing and knowing when to punish, that type of shit, and right. When to move, how to move. And that comes in higher level play. It's going to take time for those people to get to that point. But as far as being able to beat everybody on your block, we can teach you how to do that in a month. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't need anything. You don't need to know how to wake up in this goddamn game. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to know how to crouch, dash, cancel, or back that, whatever that faggot shit is. I'm sorry, I hate Tekken so much. It's such an ugly game all the way around. But whatever. Yeah, I mean, I usually get into this rant every time I get on a podcast, and I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to, but I'm just passionate about it. The number one thing we need to do is just bring in people, be invited to people, help people out. You're gonna see the higher echelon guys. I hate you. Okay, the more well-known guys on the forums, you see, they're gonna be one of the most helpful. You know, I know Partisan, he's helpful. He better be, cocksucker.
I'm helpful.
Party Wolf is going to be out there. You know, I'm going to drag. Well, I know Zeph has good intentions. It's just not really in his nature to be instructive. He doesn't know how to instruct. He likes to show by example. Same thing with Chicago. But they'll sit there and they'll break shit down with you. I mean, they've improved. A lot of people who came into the Chicago scene, they didn't know shit about Calibur, and they came out very viable, as viable competitors, like ARU. What was that dude's name? The Arab dude. I forgot his name. They brought him to final round one year. But he was competent for sure. There's a lot of these top players that all you got to do is after you get your ass whooped, don't get frustrated. Just be like, hey, what am I doing wrong? Like, is there something I could go work on right now that I can improve? And that's the way those guys will help you, because they don't know how to just break shit down and be like this and that and this and that. Like they instruct by example.
I feel like LP's pretty good at that, getting stuff down.
If you ask LP, no, he's really good at it. But the thing is, you got to get him to do it. And the way to get him to do it is to actually ask without being an asshole about it. If he wants to help you, man, that dude will write paragraphs. I mean, the only guy who I know is better at writing paragraphs than him is Hates. But Hates is off making millions. But I mean, y'all understand what I'm talking about, because it's like when you ask Woes, "Hey, Woes, how do I be better?" Woes had a good example the other day. He was talking to Kent, and he said, "Hey, Kent, I heard you can sing well," or something like that, right? And Kent was doing his downplaying like he does. But then Woes said, "Hey, Kent, teach me how to sing well." And Kent was like, "I don't know how to do that." And Woes was like, "See, that's how I feel when people ask me how to improve in Calibur. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I just know what I'm doing." There's a lot of people who you'll run into like that, so don't think that they're not trying to be helpful. They just don't know how to impart onto you what they're doing. They just know how to get their game out there. So don't be discouraged.
That's a very thing to me, but that would take us onto a different topic. So that's something else. But yeah, I know what you're saying about. I mean, I've had similar conversations with John all the time, and sometimes he will say something and it'll stick, and the other times he'll say stuff and it'll be like, all right, I guess we're speaking two different languages or something, because you're definitely not seeing this the way I'm seeing it.
Well, but see, that's another thing. And Zach, that's always been my contention with you, is that you kind of get tunnel vision in certain things that you do. I'll give you something that Woz said for me one time. He was watching me play Zeph, right? And the one thing he said was like, "Gray, when you're getting just guarded all the time, go kick him." He's like, "Run up and do a 1K." And I was like, well, he's not doing anything with the just guard, so why does that matter? But then later on, when I thought about it, I was like, if I just listened to that and run up and did 1K, that would make him stop using, that would help make him stop using Just Guard so much, and it would break up what he was doing. It would break up his game plan. So it took me a while to understand because I was looking at Woes like 1K. What the hell is that gonna do? What do you mean 1K? This, for those of y'all who don't know, this is Mitsu's ankle kick. It's the most ugliest, stupid bullshit kick you've ever seen in your life.
1K is clean.
It leads to nothing. But what it ultimately would have led to was breaking up their game plan, because their game plan was and their rhythm was just guarding me, keeping me in negative, and putting pressure on my guard gauge, and causing me to be on the defensive all the damn time. You see what I'm saying? All from 1K. And it took me a while to figure that out, but it was after, because in the heat of the battle, when you're, because when you're playing, you going 0 to 100 real quick. You sitting there like, son of a bitch, god damn it, what the fuck is going on? And then you hear somebody who's trying to be helpful, and it doesn't make sense to you at that point, and you're like, what the fuck are you seeing? 1K? Shut the fuck up. But after the fact, when I sat there and thought about it, I was like, I see what he was saying. So Woes would be helpful that way. But anyway, my whole point on all that is, if you run into somebody like that, don't get discouraged. It's not that they're trying to just put you off or anything like that. They just don't know how to impart what they do into words. So if you're not getting it, just watch and see what they do, and then maybe you can go to somebody else and they're better at answering questions. I want to put out there that no matter what you do, if you're a newer player, or if you're a player that's not a newer player but you're just having a problem with this game, ask. Go out there, get some help. We will help you. And if somebody's being an asshole, let me know, and I will fuck them over.
They might disappear.
Yeah, they will for a month or so. And I'm sorry, I know we're supposed to be talking about the new game, but I really think it's important for the new players coming into the new game, and for the people who are already listening to this and they're waiting on the new game, develop that mindset and that attitude that, yeah, we need to build our scene, because it will be beneficial for all of us to have more people around. That means more games, that means more content, that means more learning, that means things will open up even more, and it'll just branch out. And people need to hear that, and they need to adopt that type of attitude. Because if you want to be a goddamn asshole like certain people from the West Coast that are just shit all over people, you're fucking yourself over. Why are you around? Go jack off and play the game by yourself, because you're not helping the people around you. So anyway, I apologize for going on my little diatribe. Go ahead.
It's stuff that'll eventually become important once the game drops anyway. So,
well, yeah, I mean, because with the new game, as far as the videos go, I mean, we could talk about the story if you'd like. I believe that this story is going to go to what do you call it? It's going to be like some sort of Sophie dream or some shit.
Dude, that's astral chaos, man.
Yeah. I think it's going to have some shit like that, because she's going to be if you saw in the first trailer, Mitsu knocked her in the air, right? The screen goes white, then it starts showing those scenes from Soul Calibur 2, 3, and 5. And then right towards the end, she wakes up. Then they show the Soul Calibur edge, and then she comes back. And now they're you know what I'm saying? Like, they're in that stage right then and there. It's like all these other games were kind of a dream or in another dimension, and now she's back in present day type thing. And their language about, secrets that happened in the past that didn't know. I think that's what's going to bring Zas and Tira, and like they were doing shit in the background during Soul Calibur 1, and that's how they're going to explain why they weren't in the game, but they were around during the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That'd be kind
of interesting. Like if they have like Sophie be the only one who has like or something like that of the games we played as what will happen if she doesn't stop it or something like that.
Right, yeah. You mentioned the premonition thing, like the vision or premonition thing, where it's like that could be what happens. Like the later games, like 2, 3, and 4, like that could those were all just her premonition. But I believe the opposite. That I believe that it happened, but then she kind of got brought back into present day Soul Calibur 1 days.
Right. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't. It'll be. I'm a story fag, so I don't care. You know, people can hate. Like you can hate all you want, but none of you have gone to more tournaments than I have. So kiss my ass. I'm still a story fag. I love it. But oh my god, it's
you're
so
like that
trying.
with the story. I'm like that with the creative souls. Like I love the creation mode. I just don't use them in like when I'm playing for real. But like I felt like 5's creation mode was pretty good. Probably the best in any fighting game.
I hate creation mode with a passion. I hate it so much
because you played me so much.
And yeah, I was gonna say, and I didn't want to say why, because I played Partisan. I hated his costumes. There's a picture that he has, and if you post it, we're really gonna have.
Oh my god, I gotta find it now. I know exactly the picture you're talking.
It's a picture of Raph in an afro, and he's got. There was an angle where Mitsu's on his knees right in front of Raph, and Raph got his head tilted back with the afro looking up to the sky, like yes, and it's the most disturbing shit I've ever seen. So
there's good and bad.
I love that picture.
I can deal with the cast, the creator soul. I like they just don't need that silly shit though. Like the ones where you seen that shit where you had people, like they made a costume where they were just a big ball and hoops, and you couldn't even see.
Where
the fuck they were.
The thunder drums. Why did Thunder Drums? That was a good idea.
Thunder Drums was an
It's always going
going
to be drawbacks, yeah. There's going to be people with like crappy designs and stuff everywhere. But
there was the
they're going to have it. I really hope though that you can have an option to turn it off and matchmake.
I'm fine
because
with that.
you people out there who don't know, you can't use those at tournaments. You can't and any of the online competitive shit that I got going, you will not, unless they're a palette change, or you know what I'm saying, some shit like that. No, you cannot put in some ridiculous ass outfit in your character if you want to play in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't give a damn about all that shit because it's silly, it's stupid. If it's a regular costume, okay, fine. But you got some hula hoop or some goddamn emoji hanging over your head or some shit.
Suit thing.
No, that's silly shit. But like I said, there's a lot of people who like the creative aspect of it. Or a lot of people who like to, just it's like a costume swapping type thing, and different colors. I can appreciate all that. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? But that's not something I really. I'm used to just pre-programmed costumes. You know what I'm saying? Like in Soul Blade, you had like 3 or 4 costumes per character, and you're like, wow, that's cool. And then you moved on. You know what I'm saying? You didn't really harp on it. Did you know that Sophie looked like Xena in Soul Blade? She had a costume that she looked like Xena. She was a goddamn brunette. But yeah, anyway, we're sure Creator Soul's coming. But I still hope that they have an option to turn that off. I hope that the online is good. I hope that they have the old Soul Calibur 4 end screen, the pause screens.
Oh yeah, I forgot that those weren't there. Yeah.
Yeah. I miss that. You know what I'm saying? With stage select or player select.
It's like I haven't even I totally forgot about this because 5 lacked something there.
Also, being able to set your buttons at the character screen like they used to do.
Yeah.
Well,
buttons.
they still have it where even if you do a damn button check, they have that. People are still going to do a button check. Like, dude, you don't know what button you program that to? You're a dumbass.
It's just like accepted that you do a button check. I guess I don't know.
Hey, a question though: with the damage that y'all seen that's in this game, do you think this game would be more viable as a 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5?
Honestly, I haven't seen enough combos.
Right.
Yeah.
To really know, because everything's
Plus,
just
we
been
only
like
saw
random, like BB and like
Understood.
no actual moves, and yeah, it's only 2 characters, so we need to see more. Definitely, I figure that if the game gets brought into like a circuit thing, it's probably just going to be 2 out of 3.
Right.
So I'm kind of, I honestly like I love 3, but I don't think that that's going to be viable, especially considering things like Evo is already on like the clock as is now with that many games.
I
Right.
returned.
Hello.
Oh, welcome back.
But yeah,
Good
like
news?
it's
Yeah, I got sponsored by
Good shit,
BXA
man.
Gaming.
by who? Sorry.
Broken Alliance Gaming.
Ooh, nice. Congrats.
Shit, you getting a shirt?
That's the same people that got what's his
Nitty.
the Natsu
No, not Nitty.
I thought it was Nitty.
Nitty,
Oh,
right?
No,
Ragnarok.
it's the same as Cody's old
Oh,
organization.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it's BXAGR8 Party Wolf. Okay.
Something like that.
Or no, what is it? BXAGRAST. Oh,
What the fuck?
You
What?
said about
CTSF.
Is this
yeah.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Brexit
Yeah.
Party Wolf?
AVN as well. You got it there.
There you go. his goddamn sponsors are gonna be longer than his name. But we were talking about you a lot, Party Wolf. I was hyping you up, man, as one of our #1 content guys.
He said he
Aw.
hates your customs also.
Thanks. What? In what game?
I said I hate customs. Period.
How could you hate Cookbot?
Some of y'all, you're gonna make me turn on it in a minute.
Man, Party Wolf had really
But,
good
uh,
customs that made you go, what the fuck?
I mean, none of my costumes are Folgers, so it's not like
I'll be right back.
All right. But yeah, we were just talking about like given like the damage and everything in this game, how we feel about 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was saying that it's probably going to lean towards 2 out of 3, just given the fact that if the game's on a circuit, probably that's going to be the standard, just because that's what it tends to be. That's what Tekken
2
is.
out of 3 would be best.
Yeah, and given the fact that Evo is super crowded, and if the game's at Evo, probably not going to have 3 to 5 there either. So
I think
most likely 2 out of 3.
I think even Soul Calibur 5 doesn't necessarily need 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Like 2 out of 3 on a realist note is probably the most exciting format, because it's not like it's one game where you can get random out, but it's exciting enough to where you can get random out for the first game, and then you have to play solid for 2 more games.
Yeah, it's like there's always like that danger factor there for like not only just when you're actually there playing, but for people like watching too. Like when you see like some random guy blow up somebody for one game, everyone loses their shit. And then like they might just get blown up again. But like, you know, that doesn't really happen in 3 out of 5, because it's like, oh, whatever, he's got 2 games.
I mean, I would,
And then he just blows them up for 3 games straight, and it's like, okay, whatever, we expected that. But when it is that 2 games,
would agree with that if it wasn't for like Viola and like Alpha Pat, as far as like damage is concerned. No.
I mean, that's true, but like every game has had its its bullshit, right? Like if it's not, if it wasn't Viola and APAT, then it was Ivy, Hilda, Algol, whatever have you in that game, Amy. The list goes on for 4 hours, but yeah.
I know every game has bullshit, but I just mean like in regards to like when you're talking about the randoming out, damage like that, 2 out of 3 is kind of really stacks the odds in that character's favor.
Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Yeah, I see what you mean.
What I missed?
It's going to be in 6, so mean, saw was like Mitsu doing either his CE or his reversal edge. We don't know how practical those are anyway, so
then there's like the other thing about like 2 out of 3 is that this game has plenty of comeback mechanics anyways, to where if you are getting hit by a bunch of random stuff, you're still in the game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Quote unquote random stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just glad because there was an idiot part of me that I was, because you saw the trailers and all you saw were like the super moves and shit like that, and I was like, what are the pokes are pokes even gonna be viable? Are normal attacks even gonna be viable in this game?
All you're doing is critical edge.
Do you see how far? I'm sorry.
No, I was just I was glad to see this last demo where, you know, at least BB and 2A were used. I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm good.
Have you seen how far Sophitia's 2A pushes out on hit in Soul Calibur 6?
Yeah.
Did you see the range that Mitsu's 2A has?
I feel like a lot of characters are going to have. I feel like a lot of characters are going to have range, like stone, like I was talking about with the neutral being more closed in and the screen being closer and all that. So I feel like that'll be kind of standard.
Yeah, I think this game has more like neutral game resets than Soul Calibur 5, and that's probably why they made the pokes longer ranged. Because the reversal edge resets neutral.
But still, there's a lot of push out this game, like we said earlier, and the as far like when you get knocked down, you're pushed down near halfway across the screen.
But that's kind of optimal considering you don't want to like get knocked down and then this asshole's doing soul charge and then you die.
You knock them down and like you're at a more disadvantage because they can get up slightly faster.
Or like because if you soul charge, you get hurt for blocking. Like literal damage, not guard damage, actual damage. So you want those neutral game resets so that you can mitigate block damage more. Otherwise, it's going to be cancer, and you get comboed even further than you would normally. Like reset
soul charge last.
It fills up that meter gauge tick, and then it drains until it's gone.
Oh, so it's a meter type thing. Okay. Because
yeah,
soul charge used
it's a
to
timer.
be it lasted for either the hit or the block. So like if you attacked and you hit somebody, it works for that one hit, or if they blocked it, it was over. Or if you blocked an attack, then it was over.
Yeah, I don't like the name Soul Charge for this game because it's not Soul Charge at all. It's its own thing.
Call it Soul Train.
I don't even remember Soul Charge being a specific thing in like Soul 1 and 2, but I could never even find a place to use Soul Charge in Soul 2 when it came out.
It was big for Maxi, right? Yeah, 1, 2.
Soul Charge was viable for a while, but then, you know, Step G really canceled out a bunch of shit. There was a lot of Soul Charge cancels that you can do, like Soul Charge cancel string. So, you know, you'd attack, and if it was like a 3 or 4 hit string, you could cancel out with the Soul Charge and then restart it. It was a lot of button pushing and a lot of timing type things. But like I said, usually it was used to get a counter hit or a free counter hit, or there were certain moves that had different properties. You know, like Mitsu's Soul Charge 2-2B, you'd get another hit that bounded. You know, so it'd be 2 hits. It'd be 2-2B and once, and then the second time, and that would bounce you. And then also his Soul Charge 6-6A plus B became unblockable. But that was Soul Charge 3.
Right.
And there was things that other characters used it for, but I didn't care because I was Mitsu.
I was just like, I didn't know where you could even activate. Like, I would do it like if I knock somebody far away, or like about like the charge canceling during strings. I didn't know if that was a universal thing or if that was just certain characters, but
Well, if you look up, if you look up, there's a match between it was Hayate versus oh shit, I can't remember who it was. Hayate was playing Huang, and the other guy was playing Killick. Somebody posted it. Marginal posted it, so he knows. It's on Hayate's channel though. They were using Soul Charge a lot in that match. You should watch that.
SC1, right? Yeah, because Huang, yeah. So it's
but yeah, it's cool. I'm kind of excited by it. I think like most people, I'm just excited about everything that's coming right now and just learning and seeing how it's used and everything like that. I mean, the thing is we still need to recover from the fact that it's been announced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've been played with. Oh, dude, we've had blue balls for years now. You know what I'm saying?
It's
now
the longest wait for any caliber.
By far, yeah.
Yeah, we thought 5 was bad from 4.
Did you guys ever touch on the twin blade user?
No, we didn't talk about it. No.
What are you guys' thoughts on that?
From Hayate's video. Well, I don't think we brought up Hayate's video at all.
He has some purple to him. And I think that's pretty cool. I think Ramon would think that's pretty cool too.
You never text me back. Fuck with you. Anyway, the I don't know. He looks a little too. I mean, I'm not shitting on him because I love new characters. I love new weapons. I love that shit. That shit, you gotta understand. We used to fantasize about that shit every game. Like, what if they had a character that used this weapon and a character that from India or a character from any type. Like, there was so many different possibilities that Caliber had, and anytime we get something new, dude, we just get really excited by it. I'm excited to see how his stance shit works. You know what I'm saying? Like they say he goes from that one solid weapon to 2 blades, that he can split it to 2 blades. I'd really like to see if he can do it a la Nightwing in Injustice,
right?
Where he's pop 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 pop, ping ping, pop pop pop. I'm sorry, that made sense in my brain, but y'all just kind of heard me bebop. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't like that. I don't even know what you call it. Like that, what I call the Final Fantasy look. I don't like fucking fingerless gloves and spiky hair and big ass fucking collars and goddamn ropes holding up your pants and shit. Like, you're stop being gay.
I'm trying to say, dude, I'm wearing all of those things right now.
If you took a picture with that, I'd die.
I'm sorry?
Character you can put up that they're talking about?
I've not even seen that, so
you see it.
It's in the announcement trailer.
Yeah, it just shows like some of his pants and like the weapon, and like
shows off his ass.
I thought you were talking about something
hot.
That
where do y'all think he comes from? I think he's gonna be like one of those characters that cause remember Killick lost his mind and killed everybody in his clan?
Yep.
I think he's a Canadian character.
So he's gonna sit down and give you a goddamn what's that shit called? Tony?
What, Tony? Oh, Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
He's going to explain to you why the Earth is flat, or maybe why the Earth is round. I'm not sure of that time period. Is that time period where people think the Earth is flat? Yeah, maybe you'll be a round earther.
Maybe. I think people were pretty sensible back then. They're like, "Hey, we figured it out, and it's round."
Did you know
can't
that
be so certain these days?
That's kind of a myth, that it was pretty much well known that the Earth was round from the time of the ancient Greeks. But still, I have a question for a flat earther, just real quick. if the Earth is flat, and you have let's say you have a telescope, right? And a telescope that can see way out into the non-existent space that you don't believe in. Why can't you see Mount Everest from where you're at?
Because it's flat.
Like it's the highest peak in the world. I mean, the Earth is flat, but we still have peaks and valleys. So,
but when you look at the telescope, it's also flat. Everything you see is flat.
Okay, yeah,
must be.
My question is, so okay, the Earth's flat, and NASA and every government on Earth has this great conspiracy theory going to not let you know it's flat. Why? Why do they care?
Yes, they're trying to control you through ignorance, because
I guess
they don't want you to know that God exists.
This is the worst topic. Can we stop?
Yeah, let's skip.
Anyway,
I see the guy in the announcement trailer. I barely can see anything of him though, so maybe there's a different video.
No, that's it.
No, that's all they showed of him. Like, he's holding a weapon and they're showing his ass.
He just looks like Zwei with twin swords.
Maybe it's Zwei.
Maybe it's
Hopefully he's Zwei's replacement. I hated Zwei.
Why'd you hate him?
Because he belongs in Final Fantasy. He don't belong in my goddamn calibur.
Dude, what if he looked 100% like Mitsurugi, but he had a wolf and was bad? How would you feel about him then?
I wouldn't hate him as much, but I'd still hate him. Like I don't like characters like as far as visually, I don't like characters like what Party Wolf's main in Tekken, whatever his faggot name is.
That's Mitsurugi.
Oh my god.
But anyway, I don't.
So it's just an anime thing that he doesn't like.
Yeah, the spiky hair and it's like, who fights in that? I will pull that earring right out of your shit. I promise you.
Anime.
But let me ask, did y'all get any questions from the people on the boards? Or are y'all seeing the chat? Ask the chat. They got any questions? Cause
all right, yeah, I was like, hey, chat, what do you got for?
I mean, because it's hard to really talk about.
We covered pretty much everything I initially had on my list. So,
and you guys went over the whole mechanic changes thing while I was gone.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about it, Partisan?
Let's see. So I can't talk about lethal hits just because I don't know anything about it. That kind of frustrates me that it's not clearly obvious. Reversal edge is whatever. It's not gonna make me mad, I don't think. Soul charge seems like it's really cool because it can make characters like Sophia look really aggressive when they normally are just waiting to bait a punish.
Mm-hmm.
And then guts, I don't like still. The movement looks way better in this game than SC5. Just based on the fact that you can cancel the movement sooner and that there's no backdash run counter. I think that's pretty cool. I like that guard damage is still in the game. I think it's interesting that performing guard impact and reversal edge will deplete guard gauge. I'm not sure why they decided to go for that, but I don't know if it'll frustrate me. It kind of depends on how fast it depletes, right? I like that throw still track. I like that they don't do chip damage anymore, because that's stupid. And then, is there any other mechanic that's universal that's I'm forgetting?
I'm hoping that you don't get knocked down if you break a throw late. I hope that's gone.
Oh wait, yeah, that was the other thing that wasn't it. Throws no longer, if you break a throw, it no longer does damage to you, so you can't die by a throw break.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh wait, okay, my bad.
I'm talking about if you do break it and you fall over and now you have Oki.
Oh yeah, I think it's
Oh,
weird that breaking the throw builds meter. I'm not sure about that one. Like if you throw someone and they break it, you get a lot of meter.
For
The thrower, the person doing the throw gets meter.
Yeah, the attempt gives you meter.
Oh, that's kind of dumb.
I'm not sure.
I
about
would
that
think
one.
the person who broke it would get meter.
Yeah.
or just nobody gets meter because both fucked up technically.
Yeah, like if you watch maybe I'm misremembering, but I remember there being plenty of meter gain to be had from attempting a throw.
I'm just thinking, like, based on what Party Wolf just outlined, it's like, all right, if backdash that risky anymore, it's probably going to allow you to turtle more, and that's probably going to making a decision to use things like reversal edge or guard impact or whatever, probably break up the fact that from backdashing with part out. Maybe that was the balance. I don't know.
Maybe.
Like I said, if we have free backdash, which it looks like we do, I'm really worried about the push out on block. Like that really, and I'm not just talking about the reverse edge thing. I'm talking about just simple moves that when you block them, there's either they get pushed back or you get pushed back. It creates distance, which leads to people having to like they're giving up their frame advantage because you have to move step forward just to get an attack in. You see what I'm saying? And shit, hold on quick.
Yeah, you gotta use movement to set up moves.
Go ahead.
Like it definitely looks like you can close the distance a lot easier now, but at the same time, the fact that you're still getting pushed out that much still means that you have to actually do that in the first place, which is
and keep in mind it appears that the poke ranges have been buffed for both of the characters. So
Pretty good space, boy.
Sorry guys, I'm working.
It's all good, dude. Yeah, I mean, a lot of that could still change, but at the same time, it is kind of concerning if that is the direction that they choose to go with that kind of thing.
I think overall, though, this game is probably going to be better than 5.
I'd agree with that.
I hope so.
It looks better. It looks better than most of the games, honestly. Whether we'll actually play like that, we'll see.
That's what I was saying, though. It'll be different. I don't know about better.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have better mechanics that a wider range of people may enjoy, but it'll be different. I'm going by the same narrative that I was saying earlier, that each game is it's not better, it's different. So, but I don't know. I'm just getting over not having blue balls anymore. So,
I love 5, but I mean, obviously, you want the next installment of the game to not be worse than the one you played.
Yeah.
I mean, see, but that's what I'm saying. Like, on a whole, you can say Soul Calibur 5 was better than Soul Calibur 4, but I enjoyed Soul Calibur 4 better. You see what I'm saying? But you can sit there and list why 5 is better, and I can agree. But I still like 4 better, and it's just because it's different, and
subjective,
yeah. I don't know. I just know I'm going to enjoy it. I saw a lot of shit that Mitsu was doing that made my pee tingle. And,
yeah, the game's never looked flashier than what it does now.
Yeah, it just looks good. It looks exciting, and it looks like there's going to be opportunities for some really flashy shit to happen in clutch time. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, I can't believe he pulled that off. That kind of thing. So, and I'm also glad that you don't take damage for breaking a grab. Canadian, do you remember when there was a debate about that?
Like early Soul Calibur 5, or
before it came out, when we first saw that shit. Like, wait, you take damage for breaking a grab?
I mean, there were so many like horrible things happening that It's all a blur, kind of.
But yeah, and I'm not gonna name names, but I remember you cocksuckers who are proponents of that. Like, now, where you at? What are you talking about? Because I've heard those same people talk about, yeah, that's stupid. Oh, you were fighting your ass off for it when we were first talking about it. No, that's the way it's supposed to be. That makes it. Shut up. You're not supposed to get grabbed. But yeah, I'm glad that's gone.
I mean, I didn't like it. I never liked it, but I would have probably tolerated it better if it didn't actually kill you.
That was my favorite part about it.
Yeah, just dying to a throw.
Killing people with it was like the
Oh
ultimate
man,
tilter.
I guessed correctly and I still died. Fuck me.
Yeah, pretty much any time you guessed
Shoulda
correctly
ducked.
and lost.
Should have ducked.
And then take the launch.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Good times.
Dude, it looked good. It looks good.
If it looks this, like, if it can maintain this like look and this style and play really solid, I'm super excited for this game. I mean, I'm super excited regardless, but
Anyway,
I'd be even more impressed because I really like the direction that they're going with a lot of this so far. I can't wait to find more of the specifics and the more technical side of things. But as it stands right now, I'm very, very happy with what I've seen.
I'm curious about how much is going to get, like, from the art perspective. I'm curious how much is going to get recycled from Soul Calibur 1, because so far they have recycled the Sophitia theme on the stage as well as the costumes. So I don't know if every character to be revealed that's in Soul Calibur 1 is going to have their Soul Calibur 1 stuff.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, the music might have just been a placeholder for now.
That is also true, because a lot of like assets like that can come at pretty much any time. So remixing or
at the very least,
reusing...
the costumes are permanent.
Oh yeah, the designs for sure. Yeah,
that was definitely Soul Calibur 1 Mitchell. That's definitely Soul Calibur 1 Mitchell.
The faces look like they've carried over from 4. Like, obviously they look better now, but like the base of them, like the structure, the eye size, and everything seem to be, for the most part, carrying over from that style of Soul Calibur 4, which isn't a bad thing.
I love that Mitchell doesn't have the squinty eye anymore.
Oh my god.
Now, let me ask you this. I was reading something where people were guessing that because they were showing 2 different stages, that it was actually stage levels. Like, they were saying that if you get knocked off of the first stage that we saw, you end up in the snowy stage under it.
Kind of like
that's wrong, though.
What's that?
That's wrong, though. They show ring outs.
Yeah, but that was on the snow stage. They didn't show it on the Greek stage, did they?
They showed ring outs on the Greek stage, yeah.
Was it? Oh, okay. Then yeah,
the only thing that changes on the Greek stage is daylight to twilight.
The time of day, yeah. Which I think is pretty cool too.
It doesn't mean that they're not gonna have it, but they still haven't shown that. So stop putting that shit out there, idiots. You make me sound stupid right now. And Party Wolf just had to point that out.
You're not stupid. It's just fake news. You can't worry about it.
You had a tone of derision.
How can you even fall off the stage? Never mind. I'm not even making this joke. Never mind.
I think it would be kind of cool though, but it might overcomplicate certain things. Each transitions and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I kind of just prefer ring outs for history's sake. You know what I'm saying? Like we're a ring out game. You know what I'm saying?
It's just always been there. So yeah, it's like it would feel weird.
Yeah, if they just decided to like remove ring outs, like it just wouldn't. Like that would actually be like a sizable loss.
Infinite stages. Get rid of those.
I was relieved to see that ring out. I really was. I was like, oh, good. Okay. They still got it. Because, like I said, just for history's sake, like that's what the game is. It wouldn't feel right. Like I don't, because I think most people hate like the Eternal stages. I don't hate them.
Just don't put infinite stages in.
Yeah, infinite stages. I don't know. One way or another, I don't. It doesn't really matter to me. Well, actually, with this game, it might, because the way you can backdash would probably make that really, really stupid.
They could just make infinite stages like Pac-Man, where it's like you just go so far back that you come from the other side, and then suddenly you're close again because you ran away too much.
Nani?
Nani?
Then you get hit with a back turn B plus K.
Yeah, you just you see Killick just spin around and do a 4B, and it just hits the other person from behind on the other side of the level.
That sounds like some Looney Tunes shit.
That would be some crazy, because then Ivy could just do a long range move and it comes out from behind her too.
Yeah.
Hits herself.
She's using portals.
Hits herself.
Power of portals.
So out of the leaked characters that we've gotten, which characters do you want to see showcased next?
Algol.
So right. So for those who are not aware, such as myself, kind of, who are these characters?
There is Killick, Shanghua, Talum,
Tira.
See, that's the thing. That was a possibility. Tira and Zas were they were just heard about, but they weren't. They didn't. He said that they were probable. It wasn't his opinion that they were probable. That was on Hayate's video. For those of you who don't know, Hayate has a channel on YouTube. It's Hayate. And he put out a video about the leaks and things that he heard that kind of coincide with what was being leaked on the SC6 thread by I don't know how to pronounce his name, the German guy,
Jebin or something like that.
Verjebin.
Yeah, that was just about it.
By the way, shout out to that guy. If by any chance you're hearing this, we appreciate you. Thank you. I know you were met with a lot of skepticism and a lot of derision and a lot of people just shitting on everything that you were saying, but you came through. So shout outs to you. And we should make him like an honorary mod or some shit, because he had to deal with a lot of I'm happy to hear that, but I'm not going to believe a word you say until I see something. Well, good for you. Whatever. Or there were certain individuals who come out and called him a betrayer of Namco. Saying
that's harsh.
Silly shit.
Betrayer of Namco.
Oh yeah. And he was saying, "Oh, why are you doing this for your own glory?" And a lot of unnecessary shit. So glad that shit did come out, and whatever. Shout out to him and Hayate. But yeah, going back to my original question, I believe they said it was Killick, X, Talum, Nightmare, Sig. So yeah, these are the possibilities. Sig, let's say Tira and Zas, and I think there was one more. Party Wolf, you're the one who put the names down on the.
Killick, Shangwan, Nightmare, Talum, Siegfried, Tira, Zazelno.
All right, so out of those, who are y'all most looking forward to be showcased?
For me, Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Tira.
Tira, really?
It's gotta be Talum, man. It's gotta be Talum. I would be missed to not say that.
Yeah, because Tira changes so much that I'm curious as to how she'll look. And she's hot.
Yeah, I picked Nightmare because he's hot too. So,
quick side story. Some of you may have heard this already, but did y'all know that the first time in the United States of America that somebody got hit by a free Nightmare CE, it was me?
I believe it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. We got a pre-release version at a Big E tournament.
Oh right, I remember this because I was the one that hit you with it.
Yes. I didn't.
Yeah, it's all coming back to me.
First time we saw the shit, It was the very first time we saw it. And all of a sudden, this guy is lighting up, and I'm like, "What? Do I move? Do I block? What is this attack?" And it hit me and took off 80% of my damn life. So yeah.
Great one. Question. Is like most of like the bad experiences you've had in Calibur like somehow all caused by Partisan?
Yes, 100%. No, well, here's the thing. Since SC2, 95% of my bad experiences have been because of Partisan. Because he's a troll. He's an evil, vindictive little troll in a small package.
I'm a serious gamer.
But before that, and this is why, if some of y'all saw, because I was pretty vocal in that thread lately, when I said I hated Talum. I don't hate Talum as for her character design or her fighting style. I hate Talum because I literally had nightmares about that bitch. If anybody goes around and says that she was low tier in Soul Calibur 2 or she wasn't popular for Soul Calibur 2, go suck a cock long and hard. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. In fact, a lot of the pros who talk shit about her were reminded well after the fact that no, that bitch could get in your ass. That bitch was stupid. She was so dumb. She was so good, and it was more than just her 338. And I had to play because my playing partner, that was his main, and I had to play that bitch so many times. I literally had nightmares of her yelling out, "Wind, wind, wind." I woke up sweating and just tense and just like ready to fight because of this bitch. So those of y'all that want, that's why I said I hate the bitch, but I'm happy if she is in the new game because I think she belongs. And she's much more popular than goddamn Setsuka. There's no argument about that. Talum was much more popular than Setsuka in every form or fashion. And if you have anything to say about that, you're an idiot. I'm not on the forum now where I'm trying to promote, positivity and all that shit, so I could say this right now. You're an idiot.
What if
you know who you
what if
are?
everything you're saying right now is being like transcribed into text on a live thread on the forums right now?
I'm an admin, baby. I can delete it.
What if I undelete it? Because I am too.
I would delete you.
You can't.
We should, in fact, why is Partisan an admin? You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, it's a good question. It's a very valid question.
No, I'll be honest. Jaxel just put me on there because of the influx of new players, and he asked about okaying new players. So, by the way, Party Wolf, you're gonna have to show me how to log on to that because it's some Zen 4 shit, and it won't even let me log in. It makes me put in a password, and there's no password that works for me.
For what?
When it has the new users thing, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to bring it up.
Like the admin control thing?
Yeah.
You just put in your AOA run password?
It won't. It says it doesn't work. Do you have to have the two-step verification thing turned on?
Possibly.
Did you, when you were turned into an admin?
I think so.
Turned into.
Well, shut up.
I don't remember. I did that forever ago.
Converted.
Okay.
I don't remember life before I was turned into an admin.
I hate you so much.
Just ask Jaxel, he'd know.
Yeah.
All right. But
how close are we? I mean,
we're about to hit the 3 hour. I was gonna ask if we want to cut it now.
We can still talk, but we can should probably just cut the
for the sake of the video. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything else to touch on? We've talked about what characters and by the way, I'd like to see Killick be showcased next or X, but we'll see.
Give a reason.
Because I like them.
Okay, give a better reason, because I will give a better reason for why I picked Nightmare.
because they've always first off, they weren't in Soul Calibur 5. I'd like to see how they changed or didn't change from the earlier games. And I'd really like to see what their moveset are. I really want to see what a sword looks like.
True.
If he
You're
still
just
has
a
it or not.
spectator.
I would imagine it's a pretty staple move.
He only had it since 3.
True.
And it, 4 was a lot better. So I'd really like to see how it works in this game, if he still has it, or Festival of the Damned. That was another cool ass move he had. Same thing with X. I want to see if she has her evasive 668 plus B, which
Teleport.
is Horde Twirl, 2-2B for you layman's.
1A, 3A.
3A.
3A definitely.
Yeah, 3A is such a horror move.
Knockdown, normal hit.
And doesn't it seem that horizontal seems stronger in this game?
Yes.
I mean, I didn't see any random whiffs, is what I'm saying, or walking through the horizontals.
I think at one point, Mr. Gee's first hit of A got stepped.
Say it again?
I think there was a point in the video where the first hit of AA from Mr. Gee stepped.
I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
I'm not... that could be just bad memory, though.
Sounds like nightmare fuel.
I'll make sure to post it up if you're wrong. Like, Party Wolf was wrong.
Wow. Wow.
I definitely want to see Talum next. It's been 6 years without her.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what's up.
It's been a good 6 years.
Yeah, well.
Let's make it 7.
I don't see...
DLC, you're in and she's broken.
Oh, no.
I think they're going to try to give... See, I don't like the way Namco does that, in that they try to string things along. And like, you're not building up suspense. You're causing anger. You know what I'm saying? It's like, already show me this shit already. I've been waiting. Like, if Namco was smart, they'd be like, hey, look, it's everything we got right now. Enjoy, eat it up. Know that the game is coming. We don't know when yet, but we want to give you this to, that type of shit. But they don't do that. They're like, oh, we're gonna just keep everything closed mind. And by now, people aren't like, oh, what's gonna happen? It's just like, well, come the fuck on. And one of the number one waiting points is Talum. Is she gonna? Because you have her humongous fan base, and you have her humongous. What's the opposite of fan base? Hate base.
Haters, yeah.
So I mean, people are going to want to see, is she in the game or not? And I see them trying to hold that back until several months down the line. So, but I don't know. Hopefully, we'll be wrong. We still got the Namco event 6 days from now, correct?
There's a Namco event.
15th on the 15th.
Yeah,
Damn.
6 days. Wow, man. Good way to research and not just...
That's when they'll be showing the Switch version.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree. Y'all gonna have to tell me how that Switch shit works, because I don't... Like, to me, it just seems like a giant PSP.
You take it and you throw it in the trash.
Yeah, buddy.
Didn't you have one?
No, I got a Wii U, and I realized that was something I shouldn't have done.
Same.
But dude, Mario Kart.
Is there anything else to touch on?
I think we're good.
Hey, I didn't give my answer about Nightmare.
They didn't?
You said...
Okay.
I said Nightmare. I didn't say why. Anyway,
Why?
I said
You're a
Nightmare
nerd.
because I'm a nerd, and
Yeah,
because he drastically, like, the design always interests me because it drastically changes, like, visually every game. So I'm excited to see what kind of design they're going to go for. If it's going to be something like really crazy, kind of like Soul Calibur 3 or 4, or if it's going to be more like the traditional kind of armored Nightmare look like they had in 5 and Soul Calibur 2, which are really iconic. So that that first off is like the main reason because I really dig the designs for Nightmare. But other than that, I'm interested to see what kind of systems they put in play for like his stances and stuff. If they bring back like something like Night Terror Charge or fill out something new, and just how he'll kind of play out because the character kind of like the move list stays more or less the same, but the character always seems to play pretty different in each game. So I'm curious to see how he'll work out in this one.
Oh,
All right.
I want to see if he's possessing somebody new.
Or if it's just like a Soul Calibur 4 where it's just like it's literally Soul Edge basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if it's Soul Calibur 1, then he's Siegfried.
True.
Oh, by the way, and just in case Heaton listens to this, I hope they show Sig last.
He's in the chat, by the way.
I hope so. Listen to this. I hope to God that they show Siegfried as the very last character. I hope he's in there, so you'll be okay with it. But I hope he's like you have to sit there for a year and just sit there and be like, is he in the game or not? I truly hope that he's the last character that they show. And,
if Siegfried's not revealed right away, he'll just pick like the most annoying fucking character.
Raph.
Otherwise, so it's not like it's any better.
Maybe they'll show like Siegfried's back as like a teaser image, and you see like the long blonde hair, and then when it gets revealed, it's actually adult Patroclus.
Or a hermaphrodite. Some tranny.
Some good stuff.
They put in the first what didn't oh no that was Mortal Kombat where they had the first openly gay fighting game character. Well, Soul Calibur can break ground by having the first tranny.
I think Street Fighter already has that.
Man.
Oh yeah,
That
he's
hasn't
right.
been confirmed. Has it? That pink-haired bitch?
I think it has.
By Poison?
But I
Yeah.
didn't.
Whatever.
I want to know if they
thought
brought back Hell Sweep. If they're going to bring back Hell Sweep from
Oh,
Nightmare,
man.
that would be gay.
Can you imagine like Soul Calibur 5 Nightmare with Hell Sweep?
If they did what?
Like imagine Soul Calibur 5 Nightmare, but with Hell Sweep.
I'd prefer not to.
Imagine
Anyway.
Soul Calibur 5 Nightmare with throw damage.
Yes.
I'd prefer not to, once again. It's pretty gay.
I hope they give him back 1k at least. Like give him a mid that you can do where you aren't like really sad about doing it immediately after.
Oh, I want Mitchell to have 1k into Relic so bad.
Was that the low?
Yeah, that was where he did the
I
low.
remember. He like kind of like crouched down and like poked you, but it went in the stance
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, that was.
Oh,
nice
I
move.
want that so bad. Because I haven't seen too many transitions that have gone into Relic yet, and I want that. Though they did 6A hold.
Yeah, typical one.
and what I can't remember what the other one was, but yeah. Anyway, y'all know I can keep blathering on. So if y'all want to end this, go ahead, because I could talk about this forever.
All right. Well, yeah, I got you, McGee. Thank you everybody for listening and joining with us and talking about the greatness that is Soul Calibur 6. As for our podcast, we will have a more regulated schedule around when the game releases, but for now, we'll probably do casts according with leaks, videos, and other things that appear in the community, and we'll bring people on, see what's going on, and just come on and listen. But yeah, once again, thank you everybody.
I love y'all.